Ava was just gone for a week, and it was just me at home alone.
That
I had to put on
masturbation fest, bro.
yeah, it was
Slinging schmeat.
It was a fat festival.
Bro,
Throwing ropes, bro.
He was throwing.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But you were saying, sorry.
Oh no. But I had to put on ocean noises and like rain sounds because I was hearing little things in the house, and I know I have 3 cats, so I know they're like walking around there like fucking shit up, But I would hear it, I'd be like, I don't know.
Just think someone's kicked your door in, just your cat's playing with
nervous.
a ball.
Yeah, I was just nervous as fuck. I don't know why.
Is this on the record?
Oh yeah, we've been.
Yeah,
rolling
we're
for a minute.
technically recording now. I was gonna
You can
intro
move
the
that
episode
closer
in a
to you if you
moment.
need
But
to.
Bet.
Yeah, move it around however you got to.
say again.
Big bet.
I said on the record.
On the record.
Yeah.
All right, we good?
Yeah,
We rolling?
we are rolling, boys.
Welcome back to Millennial Suck Podcast, millennialsuckpodcast.com. Dylan, say hello.
Hello.
We're here from the Bump Yard. We are with returning Max Jeezy.
Maximiliano.
And first time ever, Wesley Pippin Davis.
Bam, bam, bam.
You don't know the amount of episodes I have confused people in by referring to you as Pippin instead of your actual name.
Well, to set the record straight, it's Pippin.
It's
That's
the
my
only
name.
name that matters.
Yeah.
Also, I was trying to explain to Kanto how like only a handful of people call you Jeezy, and it was just making an observation, but I guess I worded it in a way that sounded like I was telling him he wasn't allowed to call you Jeezy.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
didn't notice it till like the second or third time I listened to the episode. So I was like, oh no,
No, it's all good.
you can call him Jeezy. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
you're not in the club, bro.
So yeah, of course, Max Jeezy and Wesley Pippin Davis from behind Yung Mosh. How you guys been?
Been good, man.
I'm doing pretty good, man.
This is Davy's first time here. Davey. I was trying to call you Davis, and I called you Davey.
Davey.
Yeah, I'm now Davey.
Yeah, it's
it's
been-
not Pippin. I'm now Davey.
Today is the day it
We're
changes.
4 years deep, and you finally made it, man. I feel like this is mostly my fault, but I'm going to blame you.
No, I hate going out and doing shit. So
That's a good point. And I also hate messaging people to ask them for favors. So
But it's not anything against you guys. I'm happy I'm here.
I'm happy you're here. You coming out on the 28th?
Yeah.
Okay. I was
I
gonna
didn't
say,
know if you knew about that.
Yeah. She decided that she didn't want to plan an entire weekend of shit in order to surprise me, because it would have been a nightmare trying to get me to do things, because I would have been very confused and very angry about it.
Yeah.
So she decided to keep whatever the gift is a secret and just tell me the rest of it, because she knew, and also she's terrible at keeping secrets. So knew she would give away something, and what she really wanted to keep a secret is whatever the gift is, right? So she decided to let me know about everything else and just solely focus all of her energy on not telling me what was given to me for Christmas.
Well, to be
Birthday.
fair, being on the receiving end of a surprise party, which 2 of you guys were at, it just made me mad.
I'm going to be real honest with you. I fucking hate surprises in general. They make me anxious, and like typically if there's a surprise involved, that means that like the focal point of attention for the room is on you, and I hate that
Yeah.
shit.
Yep.
Like if I walked into my house like after a long day, right, of socializing for an event, and there was 20 people in my house and they were just like, surprise, I would leave. Like, you guys have a good time. I'm going to my dad's. I'm not doing this.
Yeah, you don't know how hard it was. I had to just like grit my teeth and be like, hi guys. Oh yeah, I'm so happy you're
So
here.
excited right There's
now.
a video.
Like you guys got me so fucking hard.
There's a video of his whole family and Dylan Steele singing happy birthday to me, and me just staring at the floor, very visibly uncomfortable for it.
That would be me.
Yeah. It's just like, literally, you can just see it in my face. I'm like, this is so nice of them, but please stop. So anyway,
Can I say that you got me really fried with that dab pen?
can I say you're welcome?
Thank you very much.
That's okay. I'll handle some of the talking for a minute.
Thank
I
you,
was going
sir.
to focus
Thank
on you
I
for a minute
gotta-
anyway, because you
yeah.
haven't been here yet.
That's fair.
So let me ask you a question, Davis. How did you end up making music with the Yung Mosh boys?
Oh, that's a good
It
question.
is a good question. You know the answer, but for the
I was gonna say,
audience,
well, to break the fourth wall, I know the answers to half the questions I ask half the guests here, because all of them are like my friends or friends adjacent.
that's how you know to ask the
Yeah,
question.
that's how I know to ask the question.
So 2014, yeah, it's 10 years ago this past August. Right. I had moved back in with my folks after going to college, and I was working out all the time at the Finneytown Planet Fitness. And this guy walked up to me and used a pickup line on me. He said, I think did you play in that band that we played with? I don't know if it was like yesterday or whatever. He basically pulled the like, do I know you from
He
somewhere?
manipulated you into a conversation.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, and
Because I showed him our music. It was
Just made
it
up
was a
some shit to
segue.
show the
Just-
metalhead at the gym your music. That's genius.
Well, and what he didn't know is it was like the perfect storm. Is like I had been wanting to be in a band and I didn't know where to find one. It's kind of like dating. So it, once again, comes back to dating. But
Everything comes back to dating.
it does.
It's fucking annoying.
Yeah, and I had been basically my plan was to just work on my own craft, work on writing, getting on better until I found people to play with. And that's what I was doing. I had written Dying to Believe, which was on our first album with Twick.
I actually just listened to that album 2 days ago to prepare for this episode.
Really?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I haven't listened to it.
Well, I listen to your guys. I don't listen to it. I don't listen to the old stuff a lot. Like I listen to Hype Nation a lot because it's super close to 2 mil and I want to see it happen.
Yeah,
But
that's
and I
close.
listen to Peaceful a lot because it's one of my favorites. And I also listen to a couple more here and there. But I don't ever go back and listen to the whole album. But the other day I was like, you know what I haven't listened to in a while? And they're coming in on Saturday, so I may as well. And I listened to the whole album and I was like, by comparison of like even the songs that were made after the album, like immediately afterward, it's just like night and day for some reason.
Yeah, well, those were like the accumulation of a lot of songs that we had written over an extended period of time, which obviously you were there for. But
Right.
like after that, we can kind of move on and like learn from what we had done there. So
Yeah.
everything-
Well, I mean, it's all. I mean, definitely. Like, if you listen to like, because little shop talk, like because how with the quality of the first CD, like how you can hear every mistake blatantly, right? Versus now, where it doesn't seem like there are mistakes. It's like things have grown, and we're here now.
well, that's just studio magic. There's definitely mistakes.
Oh, there's always
Yeah.
mistakes in the studio.
Dude,
though.
Lifeline. Way we recorded that was at like what 75% speed or something.
Yeah,
And
they had to piece that shit together, dude. He was like, "This is."
I
we're gonna have to
remember
record you
that
guys slower.
that was towards the end of my time writing with you guys, and I remember I was working that or not that install job, but that landscaping job with Derek and Matt.
Yeah.
And Alex called me from the studio and goes, "Hey, dude, we're working on the hook. Can you help us?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll work with whatever I got, and I'll get back to you." And I finally got something, and he sent it back to me. He's like, "No, we're good. The producer figured it out." I was like, "All right, cool, dude. Damn. Back to doing my actual job, I guess."
damn.
But anyway, you were saying.
What was I saying?
You were talking about
Oh,
how
just
you
like
were
the
looking for a
mistakes.
band.
The mistake. Oh, okay. We're going back to that now. No. I was just writing on my own, getting better, and then this guy picked me up at the gym, and
They've been lovers
best
ever
decision.
since. Can
pretty
confirm.
much. Pretty
Yep.
much. They invited me to band practice. I had to audition, and I shittily played. It was an Under Oath song. I can't remember.
Was it unwritten?
No, it's from the Lost in the Sounds of Separation. It's like the big song.
More of a B-side, or is it a hit? Okay,
It's
I liked Under Oath a lot, but you know how I am with song titles.
Yeah, well, and they're one of those bands that like titles their song
Yeah.
like they're fucking smoked weed.
Yeah,
and
there's
thought it
like
was the best
4
idea in
bands
the world.
growing up that I loved so much, and I don't know what song is what. Like Chiodos, The Devil Wears Prada, a lot of Emarosa's older stuff, and Under Oath are good examples of those bands that were just like, here's a whole bunch of ridiculous word combinations, and you can just like the song or not, but you'll never be able to tell anyone what it's called.
Well, that's why you separate the true fans. Is the true fans know
Yeah,
the title of the
I guess
song.
I'm just not a true fan of things.
me either.
I'm also shitty with pretty much all types of names. Like I was talking to Steele about football the other day. He goes, "Oh, if you're such a Saints fan, name one defensive player." And I was like, "Hey, fuck you, dude." But anyway, you were saying you got picked
Is
up.
there
by,
anybody on the Saints besides Chris Olave? Like, okay, that's two.
Alvin Kamara.
Oh, Kamara's good.
Kamara's one of the best running
Kendra
backs in the
Miller.
league. Yeah.
Yeah,
Taysom Hill.
I think I know that name.
These are all offensive players.
That's fair. See, I'm into sports cards, and I don't even know that many Saints.
Have you been getting into sports cards? When did you get into sports cards?
About a year ago.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm getting into Magic the Gathering real hard. Well, not the cards because I'm not wasting. I'm not spending $500 on a dead medium, but I play on Arena a lot.
Okay, nice. So you like digital?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's honestly the better way to do it.
So your whole family does music, and then I know because I know your brothers do music, or at least one of them does. Do both of them do music?
Yeah. Both my brothers do music. My dad was a guitarist, is a guitarist still. And younger brother went to college, studied musical theater. He just finished writing a musical like a month ago.
Damn.
So he's been working on it for 6 or 7 years.
I'm gonna get your dad on here so I can pick his brain about writing a musical.
Well, this is my little brother.
Oh, your little brother.
Yes.
Okay, well, let me get him on here then. I don't care because I always because I write stories. Well, I don't write stories. I conceptualize stories and I want to write them, but I'm like I don't know how to write a book or a screenplay or a fucking musical or anything like that. I just know how to come up with a story and tell it to you in a shitty way.
Well, the best advice I've ever gotten on that.
ChatGPT.
Not that we're just gonna. Yeah, absolutely. That worked out so well for that Willy Wonka guy. No, I'm just gonna the best advice I ever got was you just do it.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Nike, they coined it. You just do it.
But yeah, you were saying your brother's a cop.
Yeah, and then my older brother, he plays in a band called Near Earth Objects. They've been together for 15 years now.
So they've been together a while.
Yeah, play together just in the local Cincy scene. They used to record with Ben Cochran down at Soap Floats in Newport. I don't know, maybe you're familiar, Dylan.
I'm not.
Is it Dylan or Foreman?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, so the reason why I started calling him by his last, because I hate calling people by their last names. Same reason why that's why I call you Pippin all the time and never call you Davis for real, is because I don't like calling people by their last names. It feels too like high school football for me.
I would hate if you called me
But the
Davis.
problem is that I have 3 kind of close friends called Dylan. And when you're trying to tell stories about 3 people that you see frequently and they're all named Dylan and the person you're talking to knows all 3 of the people, it gets fucking confusing. And then when you do a podcast with 2 of them and talk about the third because you work with him on the podcast, it gets super fucking confusing. So I just started calling all of them by their last names. But now that it's just him, I'm trying to get used to calling him Dylan again.
Damn.
Just make a noise in my direction. I'll probably answer, dude. What?
What's up, Eddie? But anyway,
But yeah, so
didn't
yeah.
your dad officiate not 1 but 2 Guerrero weddings?
Yeah, both Guerrero weddings. Yeah.
Yeah, that
I
is-
believe, if I remember right, Max approached him first,
Yep.
and then Alex stole the idea.
Yeah, that was the whole thing, man. I was planning to get married to Ava 6 years before that, or 5 years, and then the pandemic hit, so we had to postpone it for a year.
Right.
And then they just beat us to it. I was like, motherfucker. He had to do everything before me.
Alex had originally asked me to officiate it.
Really?
Yeah, originally he was like, "Hey, man, I assume I didn't ask because who asks people their thought process about how they weigh how much they love the people around them." But I just assumed that he wanted me to be a part of his wedding, but there wasn't a spot for me as a groomsman. So he's like, "Hey, can you officiate this wedding?" And I was like, "Fuck yeah, dude!" And I just started looking up how to officiate weddings, and I was trying to figure out a cool or funny church to get fucking what's it called, ratified or whatever
Yeah.
through.
Yeah. Certified or whatever.
There's a word for it, and
Sanctified?
Ordained?
Ordained. That's the one.
Ordained.
I was just figuring out what funny or cool churches can I get ordained through, and I was like, how do I officiate a wedding, and then how do I do it without copying everyone else? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then he called me, or he got a hold of me a month later, and was like, "Hey man, would you rather be a groomsman?" And I was like, "Yeah, kinda." And he's like, "Let's do that." I was like, "All right, bet." And then obviously at the rehearsal, I saw your dad was doing it.
Well, I mean, how frequently does the minister just go party with the groomsmen? They don't.
If I were to get married tomorrow, I would ask your dad.
He's not bad at it.
I don't even know that
yeah,
your dad
his
remembers
dad's
me.
awesome.
I've literally only met him 3 times, and 2 of them were when he was officiating weddings. Or no, 4 times. 2. One of them was at a show. One of them was when we went and saw Star Wars with your brother, and then the other 2 were at weddings.
Well, he would at least pretend to remember interacting with you.
That's what I do to people
Yeah.
that come up to me like I know them.
Dude,
I'm just
I've-
like, "Yeah, what's up, dude? How you doing?"
I've been playing shows with people in the local scene for 10 years. I do not bother to learn anybody's name unless we are personal friends.
I go to
I didn't know Jimmy's name until we were talking about adding him to the band.
That's hilarious.
Actually, that might not be true, but
I only go to 5 local shows a year now, not counting Blacklight / Yung Mosh events, right? Because those are automatically on the calendar. But
thank you, sir.
as far as so you're welcome for doing what I'm supposed to do as a friend / fan. Anyway, but to this day, if I go to any medium or larger size local show, someone will stop me and ask me either how you guys are doing or why I don't work with you anymore. It happens at almost every fucking show.
And do you have a great made up story about the beef that we have?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It was a bad fallout.
No, because I didn't want anybody to think that there was a real problem. But like the thing that fucked me up is I was at a show. It wasn't even a metal show. I was a rapper named Doobie was at Legends once. And I walked out back to smoke a cigarette, and a person whose face I kind of recognized, so I figured they were from the Columbus scene, stopped me and was like, "Hey, bro, how you been? Blah, 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 blah." And I just did this basic, "Oh, I'm good, man. I don't know you." and he was like, "How are the guys?" And then I immediately assumed he was talking about y'all. I was like, "Oh, they're good, I think. I haven't talked to them in a while. I'm sure they're great." He goes, "What happened? I heard you guys had a big fallout." I was like, first of all, who told you that? And secondly, no, we didn't.
Who gossips about us?
That's what I wanted to know.
Like nobody fucks with us.
Bro, I swear to God, and I've gotten that question like 2 or 3 times in the last couple of years.
Really?
I think it's just because people know that like I was so attached to the project for so long.
Yeah.
And then out of nowhere, I was immediately no longer at all attached to the project.
Yeah.
Right. And I think people just assume that there was like something shitty had to have happened in order for that to be the chain of events, when really it was just life happened.
Yeah. Fucking.
That was an interesting time.
Well, and
I don't
that's-
know if you were planning to talk about that.
We can. It doesn't matter to
But-
me. We're all over it now. But it's like, it really was just a matter of circumstance. I was in a shitty place in life, and you guys were in a place where I needed to do better. and those two things couldn't happen at the same time, and shit just kind of like separated. And then everybody had hurt feelings about it for 6 months to a year.
Yeah, I don't even actually remember the specific events of what happened. I
It-
just remember
it
like
really
you
wasn't-
stopped coming to practice.
There was really no big thing that happened. It was like, it was that period of time, which I've talked about on here a dozen times, where I was, jobless, homeless, and carless within 60 days when my car got stolen. And then I had that bullshit with Paige. And then I got laid off 3 months early from CSR and all that. So I started crashing with people, my family back and forth up in, Trenton, Middletown area. And then I didn't have a car. And I didn't have a job, so I couldn't borrow someone's car and put gas in it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I wasn't going to ask you guys to drive an hour to come get me and then bring me to practice for 20 minutes for me to write a part and then send me back. You know what I mean? And then what the big thing was is that I couldn't make it to that last lock-in at the last practice space. And then I think that created kind of a rift because there was decisions that were made about a song that like I had written.
Yeah, wasn't that
It
like
was about masks. And then when I showed up, when I could show up, at the last practice I came to was when you guys were writing, what's the singy one?
Lifeline?
Lifeline, yeah. Sorry, my memory's shot.
Yeah, because we had 2 songs that we were thinking about taking to Carson and Grant.
Yeah.
Masks was one, and it was something cargo shorts.
Yeah.
And I
was the
remember-
other.
Cargo shorts.
And I remember the fucking working titles of songs. The fact that like we would use them so much that Wes would call songs by that after they had real
on
names
stage.
on stage.
Oh my God. It still
Peppermint
happens, bro.
Mocha is still Peppermint Mocha to that man.
Yeah, yeah.
The name is
what
irrelevant.
was the other one? The Lift. It's
Yeah.
called Sacraments, but sack was like a ball
Oh,
sack.
he told us about that.
Yeah, he still calls it Sacraments.
That's hilarious.
Or
But-
crack my shit.
Crack my shit. But no, and then I came to that practice, and there was a weird moment where me and Jeezy kind of butted heads a little bit. And I think it was more about frustrations on the situation than it was about the actual issue.
Oh, I think I remember that. We were talking about
Because-
how like the vocals can't line up with the instrumental because it's like another guitar.
No, it was
Or
more
something
so.
like
It was,
that.
Oh my God, this just all came
I think
back
it was.
to me. I'm not
It was
gonna
more
lie.
so because
Damn.
like because you guys remember how I was like super meticulous when I wrote. Like I'm
Yeah.
not like claiming that that's a great quality, but I write things
I mean,
very specifically.
The product was
And like I explained when we had the little tiff at your, at your old apartment, like it wasn't about like because you had said I think you just don't like it because it's not what you wrote, and I was like, when has that ever been my thing? It's like I'm always down for collaboration. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I got offended by that. I was like, when the fuck has that ever been a problem? I'm just mad because it's not the way I wrote it. No, it's because it doesn't like work the same way as this and that. And then it just ended up being this bigger thing. And then everything was kind of weird. And then you guys recorded Lifeline. And then shortly after Lifeline, I kind of had a lot going on and I kind of disappeared from the group chat for a while and then quit coming around. And then after a while, Alex removed me from the chat. And then I didn't talk to you guys for like 5 months. And then we met at the park and here we are.
You should definitely come up with a drama story there. Like, what happened to you and Yung Mosh? Oh, they found out I was selling drugs to their kids.
Fuck their wives, bro. Which one? All of them.
All of them.
All of them, man. I regret it.
same time.
Yeah, it was a
Damn.
party. It was a double dare. The guys were on the road. I was just trying to keep everyone company. Make
Naked
sure everything
Twister's
was
a hell of a
good.
game, bro.
But no, but mostly it's just kind
All
of
of their
like
kids are mine.
the weirdest, I think the weirdest part about that situation was that weirdly, all of us had this like, with the exception of Wes, there was like this unspoken agreement that while we all said everything was cool, it was not cool.
That tends to happen.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
we all had that meeting at the park that I remember we were during COVID, where we all where everything was explained and we all kind of felt it out and we all chilled. And I came here, it was actually the first night that Hall and Christian recorded with us. That's why I remember when it was. And then
I remember that they had
for
park.
like months, there was still like awkward hostility. And then Alex's bachelor party happened and then I talked to him. And then once I figured out what was going on with him, I kind of got what probably the gist of the rest of the sentiment was. And I was like, I understand that. I did kind of just fade away.
Is that when you guys wrestled on the balcony?
Yeah.
Oh, was that like
That
a
solved all the
genuine
problems.
wrestling, or did I go to bed at that point?
That was mine and Alex's childish pride butting heads. And that wasn't the beginning of it. The beginning of it was the last house party show that we did in Marietta. Because he got shit-faced while I was on one of the rare occasions I was sober on the road, and he kept telling me he was going to beat me up. And I was like, dude, you're way too, I was like, you shouldn't try that sober. You're way too fucked up to do it now. He's like, we can wrestle on this right now. And I was like, bro, this is concrete. He's like, we can go out there. I was like, that's wood. And he goes, well, what about the yard? I'm like, that's mostly gravel. So he's like, well, and ever since that point up to his bachelor party, there was always those back and forths like, I beat your ass, I beat your ass. And then we both got fucked up at his bachelor party, and we got into a dick measuring contest where we just agreed to wrestle. Best 2 out of 3, first person to put somebody's shoulders to the fucking thing wins, and then I won.
Was this before or after we played Among Us?
This was the night before that. Because
okay.
that was the night that Noah came up. That was the second night. It was the night before that when we got fucked up on the way there, and then...
Wait, we were 2 days?
Yeah, we were there on Friday and Saturday
Oh,
night.
you
We
guys
came back
tripped on
Sunday.
the way down.
Yeah.
No, I didn't trip.
No, he didn't. You two didn't. The rest of us
I
did.
drove.
Oh, that's right.
But we did. We started drinking. We got the alcoholic drinks at the breakfast place. It was
Yeah,
like alcoholic coffee.
we
That shit was trifling.
We got mimosas and shit. We got mimosas and shit at lunch, and then we all.
And then I had a bottle of champagne too.
and then the rest of us dropped acid in the car, and then by the time we got there, we were all mid-peak. Then we went and got barbecue.
Wait, hold on. Start.
puffing.
Dude, that shit was fucking wild. Did you ever see those?
No.
Those King of the Hill videos? Oh my god!
They
I
were
gotta
talking
show
about
you.
it all night long, dude. It was like for like
That
7
was like
hours.
the best inside joke.
Tell him about it, Jeezy, because I got to
was-
pull this up.
Well, and then also, so Alex was tripping, and they were tripping, and we were drinking, we were smoking, we had
Terrorize the
me and
child's
Wesley-
bowling establishment.
God
Yes.
damn.
Me and Wesley had the idea of having a bag with so many blunts that we could pull it out and be like, I got a bag of doobie snacks. And we smoked so much weed, so much.
You guys couldn't even get high anymore.
Yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
that was the
We
thing.
smoked
Like, all of us
a
on
big
Saturday,
blunt,
we smoked
and we had
that
the
Moon Rocks
Yeah,
blunt,
the Moon
and
Rocks.
nobody
I was
got
about to
high
say
off
that.
of it.
Yeah. We were like, this is insane. This is like,
We've
not
reached
getting
maximum high.
Yeah, we were fucked up. But then me and Alex, he was still tripping. And I was drunk and high, but we got on this like roller coaster. It was like extreme,
Oh, the zip
bro.
line thing.
No, it was the thing that was spinning, and it was just 2 people at a time. And
Oh,
could-
right. It was like it's not like a slingshot, but it's like it goes around.
I don't even remember
and
that.
like
the
flips
little
on 3
cart
axes.
splits.
Oh, I see
Yeah.
what you're talking about.
Spins
Yeah.
or whatever.
So it's like the thing spins, and then it had like a joint, so you would like spin like this, and then this one was spinning. So it'd be like, and then
That's
on
insane.
the inside, yeah.
I would have thrown up.
I was fucking freaking the fuck out, dude. I'm not gonna lie. And Alex was tripping, and he was like, "Whoa!" It's just like, that's all.
What do I search to find that?
Start puffing, boy.
Yeah.
That's what I would search.
I'm just
I don't
gonna
know. We gotta-
find it later.
Yeah, we
And
gotta.
show it to him.
Yeah.
But anyway, Max Jeezy,
Yes, sir.
how's Blacklight doing?
It's doing pretty good, dude. I don't know if you guys. Well, actually, you guys haven't seen the new space, have you?
We have not.
I've not been. I've seen pictures of it. Tony showed me some snapshots.
Yeah, Tony showed me a couple pictures too when I saw him at the.
At the show?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Oh my God.
He's
you guys
super
gotta come
excited
by
about
just
it.
for one time.
Yeah.
Dude, it's sick, dude. It's like we got a whole, like a short throw projector, right? And we got like this giant stage with a wall behind it. And so, you can put the projector like pretty much right up on the wall and then project on this big ass wall, like any background you want. So like people like shoot music videos there or have like performances there and stuff. And while people aren't doing that, we just have like a random video playing and it looks sick as fuck.
That's dope as fuck.
And then we can change the colors in every room. There's hella like LED lights and stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and there's 2 rooms. So I work with Tony now, as opposed to before. It was like he would work in the morning 9 to 5, and I'd work 6 to 2. So it's like he's in the other room and shit, and
Perks of that senior engineer title.
yeah, dude. It is crazy, man. It's like
He actually, at the last New Natty, he mentioned something to me about possibly wanting to do some sort of show or podcast thing out of Blacklight.
we talked about that. We were talking about doing some shows, and we haven't come up with anything definite. But it's kind of hard to like the thing with the New Natty shows, right? It's like I fucking get like the comedians and shit, right? I got like DJs, and we have them play like popular songs and stuff in between the artist sets and stuff. And we have like the food truck and stuff. And like we try to have it a place that serves alcohol just so that way people could be entertained and like want to stay around for a long time. And it's like we're trying to figure out how we're going to have people like have alcohol at these events, because you have to have alcohol at shows.
I was
You
more
know
so
what I mean?
talking about, he was talking about wanting to do like an in-studio like podcast or something along those lines.
Well, the podcast too is another thing too. I think it could be possible. We have like the space for it.
I think that like I should probably talk to you about this off mic, but like what you could do if you were looking for ideas of like what to do a podcast about, you could just do like 10, 20 minute like update episodes.
Yeah.
Where you have somebody who has like either a comedian or somebody who's a podcaster or something like that, just talks about, or two of them I would probably go with, that just talks about like upcoming releases from Blacklight artists and gives updates on the studio and stuff like that. Because then you have, you know, a medium for like people that are looking for newer music or looking for those artists and stuff like that. They can go there. And then also you have a medium where you're just kind of promoting just internal shit.
Yeah, shit.
I mean, you'd probably have to add more
That's
stuff
a really
to it.
good idea.
You'd have to work with that idea.
Yeah.
Probably kind of workshop it a little bit and kind of make it bigger. But if you started with that, you could probably do an entire show on just that.
Yeah.
And then you should review all the artists.
I was gonna
and shit on-
say like you could
shit on their
hell
music.
no.
like you could have like interview segments with the artists who have the releases coming up. You can review their music once it comes out and obviously be biased so you can, you know, boost everything.
Yeah.
You know, media training and such.
That would be good. It's a lot of work, man. Like what you guys do and shit, like fucking over here, like you know, Foreman does the editing and like getting all that shit, like making sure it sounds like a natural conversation. I'm sure there's a lot of challenges with that shit. And then like, you know, like both you guys like keeping the conversation going.
Hear me
I know
out.
that I got it. I'm not gonna lie.
Hear me out. Would it be fair to say that the figuring out the mixing of the sound of the podcast is just like an upfront thing, and then once you get it, you just kind of set it to that? Isn't that how you do it?
So, there's a template now. Like I've done enough of these to where
My mic is lower than everyone's.
there's just like once you have done that, like this will be episode 83. Once you've done it that many times, you know what's going to sound good in the car and all that. Like just like you with tracks, like you know what comes out of the speakers is going to sound good anywhere you listen to it. Eventually do the same thing with a podcast. Like most of the editing that I'll do on here is just strip silencing, like out the dead space. Like I don't want to hear myself in your microphone right now. I only want to hear myself in my mic.
Yeah, and like fuzz and shit.
That's the most work I have to do audio wise now.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we separate, because I think we both talked to Tony about different things similar to this. We would be more than willing. We're not, you know, Joe Rogan or anything, but we'd be more than willing if you guys want to do something to come in and even just consult or anything like that.
I mean, that could be sick, man. You know, like you had me thinking while you were saying that
we
stuff.
could also
like,
collab. Like,
Yeah.
I told Tony, I alluded to Tony straight up. I was like, this is the only thing creatively I'm doing right now. I can do another podcast. If you guys need a podcast host, I can do that.
yeah, I mean, I think,
And I'd be cool with doing a less interviewee podcast anyway.
yeah. Or I don't know, maybe that could be cool. Like you could interview people.
I would definitely still interview
on the
Blacklight
stage,
artists and
you
stuff
know,
like
like
that.
if you guys want to do that.
We could do that. That would be like a new natty thing. And I'm not trying to overstep or anything. I really am trying
No,
to be helpful.
I really appreciate it, man, because I like this collaboration, and like I think that like it takes like a fucking village to make anything happen.
No,
You know, like,
one of my
Blacklight
favorite
is
one
a
of
thing.
my favorite like professional relationships from Millsuck is Millsuck and Blacklight. Because we've done, with the exception of the last one because we weren't active, 2-3 events together.
Yeah, and we'll have to do more. And now I'm about to do shit at Madison Theater, hopefully soon. I'm
doing
talking
sound?
No, like the next
New Natty.
Oh,
event.
okay. Hell yeah, dude. That's awesome.
Yeah,
I thought you
yeah.
were actually working at
Wait,
Madison. I was like, that's
but-
cool.
And that would be sick.
that
to
would
work
be
at.
sick.
Give
Maybe
me
this
ideas.
isn't the place to talk about this if it's too like logistically specific, but how are you going to do the rotating stages if with only one stage at the Madison Theater?
3. Madison Live, Madison Theater, Madison Upstairs, or maybe 2. I've been thinking about not doing the upstairs because
you're
I can't
talking about
count on
taking
the weather.
both of them.
Taking the whole strip, bro.
Yeah,
that'd be
and doing
cool
the
as
show.
shit.
Because like
there are
don't-
doors that go between the two.
yeah, exactly. You can have 2 separate shows.
I've never been to a show that
And you
uses even 2 of those stages, let alone 3. Most of the time that I've ever even been to the Madison Theater, I forgot that it was a part of Madison Live at all. And
Yeah.
almost every time I've ever been to Madison Live, there either wasn't a show upstairs, there was a separate show upstairs from downstairs.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of how Southgate House runs it. We would just open
True.
all the doors.
True. That's cool as fuck.
And the thing is like, you know, I love the Southgate House and they've been amazing to us. I just feel like the sound is so
The
much
sound
better.
is bad, dude.
Oh
I'm
my
not trying to
God.
shit
Yeah,
on
no,
it. but
I
that-
like the venue
yeah.
itself. Downstairs.
And it's the most unflattering lighting situation I've ever played in.
It's hot
like,
and
it's like you're just watching some people broad daylight playing
Yeah.
up there with,
And it's
with
also-
nothing happening.
It's
you know?
the, I think the hottest stage
I think
in
that
the
that
area
sucked
is-
for some people.
Yeah,
I think the
it kills
hottest
the
stage
vibe.
is probably Madison Live, but the
Yeah, that's
Southgate,
the hottest
yeah,
stage.
for sure. But that's the hottest venue, dude. That's honestly like that's why I don't go to Madison Live shows in case someone I really
Dude,
love is there.
The walls get sweaty, the floor gets sweaty,
Dude,
the
it's
ceiling
like
gets sweaty. It's
you
like,
go in there
Jesus
in
Christ.
the middle of December for a small room show, and
Yeah.
it's 250 fucking degrees.
Yeah.
And just because their drinks are cheap, it does not pay for it. You know what I mean? It doesn't offset it because when you get a drink in there, it's warm in 2 minutes because it's the hottest venue.
Yeah.
And again, it's like I'm fine with small venues. It's the narrowness and how everything's kind of like it's a whole venue, but it feels like a one-way lane.
Well, dude, you know what's so wild is we had an argument about this.
Bandmates don't argue.
No, we never.
They're best friends.
This is the easiest thing I've
No,
ever done.
this is like one of those friendly arguments. But Madison Live is like the cap is only like 250 less than Bogart's.
Really?
Yeah.
Bogart's is
Because he was trying to
slipping
tell
right
me
now.
like they're the same size. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? I can touch both walls with my arms. Yeah. And
Wait, Madison Live, you said?
yeah.
Yeah.
But it's actually like I think Bogart's is 1,250 and Madison Live is 1,000 or something like that, which I think
but you're
is
talking
that
theater.
just doesn't seem
doesn't seem
possible.
possible.
Yeah.
Because Bogart's is 5 times the size.
No, Madison Theater and Bogart.
Are you sure?
Dude,
Madison
no, Yeah,
Theater would make
Madison
more
Live
sense,
is-
but even
is-
then,
yeah.
Madison Theater only feels about half the size of Bogart's.
I think
wider.
I think it can fit 1,000 in there.
Yeah, Bogart's is just like really long.
I'm
Madison
not
Theater
sure.
is super wide.
In fairness, I've never been to a show at the Madison Live that had more than 300 people, or the Madison Theater that's had more than 300 people there. So.
Yeah, because all the bands that are gonna play there just play Bogart's. So
Bogart's is slipping right now. They're only getting I hate saying like the middle sized people and people on the downsize of their like prime right now because there's too many like better venues.
because all the bands I used to see there are now going to what's the place
Andrew J. Brady.
Paycor.
or Paycor, yeah.
which are great fucking venues, dude. They're so good.
Paycourt or Ovation, which is the same venue. It's just up outside, which is kind of set up how Kimba is in Columbus. If you guys
Yep.
have ever been there,
Yep.
I don't think I have.
it used to be Express Live. If you've ever been to either
I
of
saw
those,
My Chemical Romance there.
I've seen
and
a few
Beartooth.
shows there. We saw Pierce the Veil and A Day to Remember there. I've seen A Day to Remember there 3 times. I've seen a few shows there. I saw Avatar there when I was hanging out with Courtney back in the day. Apparently they were like, there's a lot of like gaming laws. So like, that's the reason why all the like things like the games at like the Gathering were free is because like there's a lot of like very meticulous, very like hard to work around like gaming laws and shit. And while we were there, she was just pointing out how many were being broken because it's like a big carnival at the Avatar shows.
Yeah.
She's
Oh.
like, she goes, that's illegal, that's illegal, that's illegal, that's illegal.
I was
It
going to
funny as
ask how
shit.
that was connected because I don't remember there being games, but I've never been to an Avatar show.
Oh yeah, no, I was talking about like the games. You know how like the Gathering had the free games and rides. Like there was like the ring toss thing you could do and all that, and they also had the rides, but all of it was free.
Yeah.
The rides are probably free. Like it's also probably free just for the, you know, incorporation of it being a carnival, quote unquote. But it's also because like there's very like strict rules about like how you can run like gaming operations and stuff like that.
I believe it.
I mean, if you think about it in a really simplified thing, if I walk up and hand you $5 to throw some rings, it's no different than if I walk up and hand you $100 to roll some dice in a casino. It's basically gambling.
Yeah, but they sell Pokemon cards to kids. That's
True.
gambling for kids.
Hey, that's how they get them, dude. DraftKings.com or whatever. Free plug.
That's the joke I make about sports cards is it's just gambling with extra steps.
Yeah.
It's really all it is.
But to close out that portion of the conversation, if you guys want to produce or do any type of like in-house podcast type show and you just want ideas or help with figuring it out, let us know. We got you.
Dude, that idea that you gave me, that's fucking awesome, man. I think that would like really be helpful to the community. It would like, there'd be an outlet for people to like.
Do you have any time next weekend?
I don't know. I'm not gonna lie. I just put shit in the calendar, and if you get it, you got it. It's
well, you don't have to do it right now. We'll talk afterwards. Yeah. But if you've got some time next Saturday or Sunday, you and I will sit down. I'll help you try to workshop an idea around what we just talked about and just try to figure something out if you want to.
Yeah, that could be cool. I think it would be really cool
if you want to put that much energy into it. I don't want to assume or anything.
No, and I think that's awesome. I think if you could talk to Tony too. I think that would be like the best thing because like.
I can talk to Tony.
Yeah,
like, if give him a heads up, tell him I'm going to reach out to him, and I'll just tell him everything.
Yeah, I'll tell him the whole idea,
and I'll tell him everything I just told you. If you guys need help with anything, if you want me to help workshop ideas,
yeah. I think, I'll just tell him, be like, hey, I think this could be cool.
And again, we're back. So if you want us doing some stuff at New Natty, we're down for that too. But that also benefits us. So I wasn't going to say that.
Well, no, absolutely.
I will say though, lovingly, I'm not doing 25 interviews in a morning again.
Yeah,
especially not when I'm supposed to be in the hospital that weekend.
No, that was our idea to do it that way.
No, like, that literally was. We were just like, let's do them all in one day. Because you were like, let's spread them out. We're like, it's so much easier if you just do them all at the studio that day. And then it turned into, after like 6 interviews, I was like, this is too many interviews for a day.
Yeah.
I do not know how professionals do this.
Yeah.
But then again, it was also the first weekend that the C word was used in my face. So, because if you remember, I almost didn't make that show.
I don't. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, remember because I called you. I literally called you Friday. It was was it Friday or Thursday? One of the two. And I said, hey man, I might have to spend the weekend in the hospital. We're going to see if Christian can take my place. If Christian can't, we may not be able to do the interviewing. And because of the incompetence of the hospital I went to, they ended up just discharging me like 3 hours later. And that was when that was the day I called you and told you all that was the day that I got my ultrasound. And they told me to go to a hospital that has a urologist. And then they didn't want to call the urologist, so they just kicked me out. And I had to have almost emergency surgery the following week. And then they tried to charge me $600, like I'm going to give them their money. Suck a dick. They charged me $600 to tell me I might have cancer, and then to go home and do the same thing my regular doctor told me to do 3 hours ago. Suck my dick. I'm not paying you.
Yep, you don't have to pay that shit.
Yeah, the ER doesn't report to credit, so I just owe them $600 until I die.
Hell yeah. Well,
it's like, what, are they going to turn you away next time you got to go?
No. And I have a much lower deductible now, so.
There you go.
But anyway, moving forward.
Yeah.
Can I ask you guys about something I've already talked? Dylan, can I ask them about their perspective on something I've already talked about on this show? Why am I asking you?
Bro, this is your show.
It's our show.
Wait, can I have the hot sauce before you do that?
Oh, do you want to try the Spirit Board hot sauce?
Give me the Spirit Board hot sauce.
Shameless plug. Our friends in Spirit Board, their hot sauce. Hell is real.
Ruthless Reaper. Hell is real. Hot sauce.
If you want to, I didn't read it out loud last time. If you read this little excerpt here on the side, Christian wrote that for the bottle.
Okay.
Maybe you should like pour some on the camera for the audience.
Okay,
hell
for
yeah,
sure.
That'd be sick.
Are you going to try it too? It's not super hot. Like it's got bite to it.
Trying it.
It will light you up a bit.
It'll light you up a little bit, but it won't fuck you up.
See, I'm too Caucasian. My mouth can handle it, but then my guts,
I have stomach ulcers.
My guts do not handle it well.
I have stomach ulcers. It'll be fine. You'll be okay.
I'm going to pass, but I appreciate it.
All right, well, the Mexicans got it.
Yeah, the Mexicans got it.
Yeah, he was born. He was born with a hot sauce bottle in his mouth.
It's really tasty, dude. The flavor's great.
It tastes delicious. It's really not super duper hot. I wouldn't use it because of my stomach issues. But if like 10 years, like 5 years ago,
it is a little hot. I'm not.
It's hot. It sticks around for a minute too.
Do you want to meet our friend Hot Sauce Mike? Which I need to hit him up and get him in here.
Let's go.
He's gonna hurt you. You want to meet our friend?
He's gonna hurt you. Be careful.
Yes, I do. What is he called Hot Sauce Mike though?
Okay, so for 2 reasons.
He doesn't put hot sauce on Mike's, does he?
I hope not.
Okay.
He better not put hot sauce
here,
on
he
these mics. Listen, Mike, I love you. You put hot sauce on one of these mics, bro. We got to throw hands.
Yeah, that'd be fucking.
He's older than me, so he probably beat me up, but no, he's so he works for Jungle Gyms as their like main ambassador for like hot sauce and Eastgate.
Yeah.
And I think he like is like a manager as well.
That's
And
sick.
then he also does a YouTube channel called Hot Sauce Mike, where he does like different heat challenges and all this stuff. He's like a real connoisseur of hot. He's like literally he makes like he's working on developing his and producing his own hot sauces.
Yeah.
Without going through like because a lot of people that like for example like the way that Christian and them the way Spirit Board got this hot sauce was they knew a small they knew a person who was going through a small hot sauce company producing hot sauce.
Yeah.
And they had an endorsement, like they had a collaboration deal with them.
Selling it as merch.
So
Yeah,
basically,
yeah.
so basically, what happens is people will go and they'll talk to people who are already making hot sauces, and they'll try to figure out like which one do you want to put your brand on, and then if they work out a deal, they'll put their brand on a certain taste, stuff like that. He doesn't want to do that. He just wants to make his own hot sauces.
Yeah.
And every time I see him, he almost sends me to the hospital because I have
I was gonna say.
super bad stomach issues, as you all know. You guys have been on the road with me.
Yeah.
I used to drink 2 bottles of Pepto a weekend.
Yeah,
Now
I do remember that.
I just drink half a bottle of Pepto a weekend and deal with it for the rest of the time. But
You're gonna be dealing with that later.
Jeezy told me one day, he was like, you use a lot of that. I was like, I have to. He
Yeah.
goes, you shouldn't use so much. I was like, if I use none, I would probably not be able to get out of bed in the morning. But now I can't even take my fucking. It doesn't matter. Why are we talking about heartburn?
Oh man, dude, heartburn
Dude,
is so
have
fucking
you
real.
ever-
Actually,
have you tried famotidine? It's Pepsid, but it's like generic Pepsid.
I've never even heard of it.
Dude, it kicks the ass of Pepto or Tums, any of that shit.
Well, I don't use
Like,
Pepto for heartburn. I use that for like all the other stomach issues.
Oh,
For
okay.
heartburn, I was using some over the counter so I got an ulcer like 4 days before I was supposed to start chemo.
Well, you
Or
were
no,
probably
I'm sorry,
You were
I'm
probably
sorry.
stressed the fuck out.
A week before I was supposed to start chemo. I was at my last appointment before my chemo started when we were getting everything set up. And I told her that I had, because when you're going through chemo, they don't want you doing like a whole bunch of medical stuff. Anything that happens to you medically while you're going through chemo needs to be very well documented and told to your oncologist immediately before they do anything. So like, I told her like, we're like a week away from chemo. I'm like, hey, my heartburn has been worse than it's ever been in my fucking life. And I've had it since I was a baby. And I'm literally getting blood in my mouth and stool. I think I have a pretty bad ulcer. And her response was, okay, Tums makes 1,000 milligram tablets. And you can also get some over the counter like daily medication for that, which I was already taking. So it didn't help. And I was already eating 1,000 milligram Tums, like 7 of them a day.
Right.
I watched 6 of them almost kill Dylan Hall. That's a different story. Also includes Hot Sauce Mike. But, but so like, she was just like, yeah, so just do that. So now I can't even, now my heartburn's way worse than it used to be because of the after effects of chemo. And I can't even take the Nexium that I was taking because I'm on a different medication now that it interacts with, and it'll
That
basically
sucks balls.
cancel out my mood stabilizer. So I can't even fucking take that anymore.
It has never been more obvious as that this is an over 30 podcast.
We're discussing heartburn solutions.
Listen, I have
Hey.
considered name changes about 10 times since we've started this podcast, 4 of them in the last 3-4 months. But we are millennials.
Being a millennial sucks.
Being a millennial does suck. And when things suck, you get heartburn. That's just how it works.
I think the name is fantastic. I
like the
Millennial Suck
name.
a lot.
I like the name. The problem that I have with it is that, like, I think it's weird to have, like, millennials in your title and your podcast have absolutely nothing to do with it, which I mean kind of is fitting for us as
we are
psychopaths.
millennials, so close
but-
enough.
Yeah, no, it works.
Yeah,
'Cause
you guys are the millennials and you suck.
Like at
Yeah.
one point I
It's
thought
like a
about
mood
only
instead of, like, the-
interviewing millennials, and I was just like, that's a stupid business model.
no, it's good. I think it's a mood. Like it's not necessarily like the subject matter, but it's the mood. Millennials do suck.
Yeah,
you
we
got
do.
millennials on here. We
But-
talk about sucking ass and life sucks ass.
But that's yeah, I like that because that is a benefit of like our name is that like if you see Millennials Suck podcast and you think you're going to get a fucking expose on like the morality of society and all these other wokeness things, I don't know what's going on in your brain. Because like when you see Millennials Suck podcast, you're like, oh, these people can't be taken seriously.
Well, can you be taken seriously?
I've known you for almost a decade. Do you take anything I say seriously? But anyway,
Wait, I have a question.
what's up?
So we all write music here, all right?
I don't write as much as I used to, but
But you
I
still
have
do.
written music. Yeah.
And
Go
you know
along with the
experience.
idea.
Yeah, you know the experience.
Sorry, I'm probably autistic.
When same,
Drop the probably, dude.
but when
I refuse to unless my doctor tells me otherwise. I refuse to self-diagnose myself. I've talked so much shit about people diagnosing themselves on the internet.
Dude,
Yeah,
every millennial is
that's valid.
autistic now.
Yeah.
Every millennial says they're autistic now.
Hey, I've been told that I've been diagnosed with depression, anxiety, and ADHD, and I'm like,
Well, I got that bipolar diagnosis when I talked to you guys a few years ago.
Yeah.
And then I didn't like the diagnosis because it didn't seem right from what I understood about bipolar disorder after looking into it. I didn't know there was a type 2 of bipolar disorder.
Yep.
So when they told me you're mildly bipolar, what they should have said is you're type 2. So I could have looked at that and been like, oh, that makes sense. But my new psychiatrist thinks I might be type 2 bipolar. So she put me on a mood stabilizer for that. And now I see my new therapist and my psychiatrist on the 27th.
Happy
So-
birthday.
Well,
Hell yeah, we stand mental health.
oh yeah,
Around here.
I've been a pretty big advocate about it lately, especially lately. But anyway, nonetheless, like I just realized that like I'm always talking about the importance of mental health, and I like always tell people you should go to therapy. I literally told him 2 weeks ago before I ever booked my own therapy, and he was telling me about an issue he was having. I was like, dude, you know what you need to do? Go to therapy. I told him his girlfriend needs to go to therapy. I told him my girlfriend goes to therapy and she needs more. It's a whole thing. Like, I think I literally was running around telling everybody, go to therapy, see a doctor. And meanwhile, I'm just sitting at my house like, I'm sad.
You know, we were literally on the way here, and I was like, everybody in my band should be going to therapy.
yeah.
Everybody in the world can afford it. Well, therapy should be affordable for everyone, but that's a different conversation. We should all be in therapy. Even if you don't think anything's wrong and you've had a mild life, you should still be in therapy.
Yeah, it's
Emotional intelligence will change the way you look at the world.
Oh God, it's so good.
just so good. You were gonna say something?
Oh yeah,
Sorry,
I
dog.
was gonna say
My
something.
bad,
No,
dog.
no, you're good. I was already thinking about something else. Okay, so when you're writing music, right? When do you not hate it, or like when do you start to like be like, this is fucking awesome, or is it like from the beginning? Because to me, I'm not gonna lie, a lot of times I feel like the best stuff that I've done is like the ones that I was like working on it, and then it wasn't until later I was like, this is actually not that bad. I'm not gonna lie. You know what I'm saying?
There's genuinely only ever been 2 songs that I've ever written that I immediately after hearing the finished product went, this is a bang.
Which ones?
Peaceful.
I love that song.
And the one you and I did that never got released. Night Terrors.
Night Terrors?
Yeah. Those are the only 2
I
songs
see
I've
the
ever written that
devil
like in the final
idea.
product I was like, all right, those are kind of dope.
You mean the diss track about the world I knew?
That was a diss track about the world.
Wait.
I've been very transparent about that.
That was a diss track?
Peaceful.
Yeah, Peaceful.
Peaceful.
Was. You don't
Oh.
think here's the thing.
You've
I
told me
told
that.
Wes that when he was here, and he acted like he didn't know. Which I assume he didn't. I'm not calling him a liar, but I told Alex back when at his bachelor party because we were airing out the awkwardness after I was talking about earlier from the whole situation.
Yeah.
And he was like, he was. I asked him, you know, I was like, you know, why didn't you promote the episode you were on? Because he was the first Twick member on here. And I was like, why didn't you put any effort into promoting it? You promised us you would. He goes, honestly, man, I was still really fucking mad at you. And I was like, I get that. And that was where I kind of got to the point where I was like, that's probably why things seem awkward when I'm with all of my old friends because there all is still a little bit of animosity. I get it. But that's when I told him, I was like, dude, I get it. I got into arguments with 3 bandmates and then 2 days later showed up with a very mean, violent song about betrayal. And he was like, I fucking knew that song was written about us. It's like, it was obviously written about y'all.
Yeah.
It's a banger though.
It is
That
a
song
banger.
is fucking
But
awesome.
those are the
dude.
only, like Hype Nation, for
I
example.
love that song.
I didn't like Hype Nation until I saw it moving online. And then I was like, and saw how other people reacted to it.
Yeah.
Like when Christian was in here for like the first time, he was talking about how that song's perfect because it appeals to everything. I'm like, yeah, it kind of does. And then I saw how like it gained, like once it got close to like 300,000, I was like, I think I love Hype Nation. And now that it's close to
that's
2
fucking
mil,
fire.
it's my favorite thing I've ever been a part of.
Well, yeah, I don't know if you probably do remember this, but this motherfucker's the one who started it.
Started.
I wrote
Hype Nation.
the whole instrumental in like an afternoon.
I wrote 90% of the lyrics in an afternoon because can we talk about that? Will Wes get mad? Let's find out. So what happened was I was writing, it was either Masks or Peaceful. I can't remember. It would have been Masks. It would have had to have been Masks. And the plan was, because this was right after Peaceful, so it would have had to have been Masks, where everybody finally agreed that if I had an idea for a song, I could just run with it. Right? Because there was that awkwardness for the first 2-3 years I was helping out where like I couldn't write without Wes or somebody else or whatever. So it was just like, dude, if you have something, just write it after Peaceful. I was like, all right, cool. So I was writing Masks and Wes was supposed to be writing Hype Nation. And then the day we're recording the fucking demo in your apartment, he only has like the hook part, which was written over the verse part.
Yeah.
And then I came in and I was like, what are we doing? And we had to write the entire thing because you guys were leaving that weekend
I don't know if I recall that, but yeah, it makes sense.
to record it. So when we were doing the demo, I was like, fucking let's run it. And then that's part of the reason why I hated it. Because I was so frustrated with the writing process of it that after I'd hear it, I'd be like, it's not even right because the chorus is the hook and the hook is the chorus. It doesn't make any sense. And then it's close to 2 million views now. And I'm like, that's my favorite song. So what's going on with your guys' label? I know that like there's been some complications over the last few years and I've never really got any clear answers of like how you guys, like how your label behind you works and all that shit. So tell me about it.
I mean, the long and short of it is there's a lot of like bureaucratic stuff behind the scenes that made it difficult for everybody involved to really accomplish anything. And
Was it bureaucratic stuff that made sense to you at all? Or is it just like, get out of the way, dude?
Or was it just kind of like pitter patter ignorance? Ignorance.
I don't know. I mean, I think it was just, I don't know. Go ahead, Max. You gonna say something?
So Max, you answer this question. Fuck this.
I mean, that we've gotten a lot of help, and that there's been like a lot of like unfortunate things that happened to all of us as a group that were working on our project, and like shit, you know, things could have been better. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think ultimately it's just been like it wasn't a great situation for anybody involved, and it led to lower productivity for all parties. So we just kind of like.
So it sounds like you guys are separating. Is
Yes.
that what's happening?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, it might be. I don't know how.
No,
long-
I just, like I said, I hear bits and pieces of information, and you guys know how I am. If I'm not directly involved in something, I don't feel comfortable asking about it.
No,
so
no, you're
like,
good.
like
Yeah,
I don't,
yeah.
unless we're obviously here, because this is my domain. But, well, when it's allowed to be. When Dylan says it can be. But like, so I only get like bits and pieces of information that other people, like, because everybody's willing to share a certain amount of information, and I don't ask things, so I just pick up things here and there from everybody, and I didn't know you guys were separating for real. I was under the impression, fourth wall break, that you guys were working on staying under the label, but working more directly with Zoltan than anything. I didn't know you guys were actually separating from the label.
Yeah, so there was some stuff with that for a while. I mean, like Zoltan had kind of stepped out of the situation. It wasn't like there wasn't any animosity or anything. He was
got
on,
other stuff going on.
He was on a
He's-
2-year-long tour with Metallica and
I was going to say,
Five Finger.
in one of the biggest bands in the world, I would imagine he's probably pretty busy.
Yeah, I think the top selling.
And I
rock
doubt
band.
this Audio Pariah is the only side business he has.
Right. And so eventually there was just kind of a lot of like inaction where it's like, well, who's in charge? And then eventually it got signed over. That's when things started being put out. You know, we started dropping, what was the first single? Facts?
Yeah, facts.
Like,
Yeah.
Well, damn, you guys didn't drop Facts until you were 3 years deep into the label.
Dude, that shit was fucking crazy, man.
And
I'm telling you.
I heard everything that was supposed to be, because I remember all those songs were supposed to be one EP. And then I heard that whole thing when we were at Alex's bachelor party, and
Yeah.
that was in 2020, 21. When did we go to
2020, bro.
Was it
'Cause
2020?
It was
We
literally the
recorded
month we
that.
got back.
Yeah.
It was
So-
it was we got back at the end of August, and it's like pretty much September, and Alex's bachelor party was in September.
So then if
She
you
got
guys
married in
can't answer
October.
this question, that's fine. So moving forward, are you guys, is it still Yung Mosh? Or are you guys going back to the Twig thing with Yung Mosh
No,
as
it's
your
Yung
vocalist?
Mosh.
Is it still
Yeah,
Yung Mosh?
It's Yung Mosh. It's Yung Mosh. Like
'Cause I
motherfuckers
did
have
he-
never seen before.
I
Look,
did hear-
I'm gonna tell you some shit. We got some shit. Like we just had to get the shit. Like I was just telling Pippin, the hardest fucking thing that I've ever done in my life is being in a band. You know, even like being a producer and doing that shit for a living, I thought that was impossible for me to reach. And or like, you know, doing shows like the New Natty shows, I never thought that I could do some shit like that, you know? But that's been easier than being in a band. And, you know, it's very rewarding. Like when you're on stage, that's like the small, like, that's the reward time.
That's the
You know what
hour
I'm
out
saying?
I will tell you.
24.
I'll tell you.
Yeah, exactly. Like you work all that time for that. You just see people like, yes, you know.
That's
it's-
actually the funny dichotomy, like about how I've explained to him, like behind closed doors, about like working as a songwriter,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
For a band. So like, as far as everyone in the room is concerned, you're a band member. but as far as anyone else in the world is concerned, you're a merch guy with extra privileges.
Yeah.
So it's like so I would, Alex will make jokes, but I like to think that I put in as much effort as anyone did during those days. But like, I never got I'm on stage, you know what I mean? So it just, after a while, it was just kind of like, when everything happened, it was just kind of like all stress, no reward for a little bit. So
yeah, I guess I never thought about that.
Yeah.
So, you know, it was like, you
why,
never
like,
got the reward.
That's why, like, when I got really, really into the alcohol towards the end of when I was, the infinite, oops, let me slip by you. And the issues with Key Enemy that night when I got blackout drunk, and then I was already supposed to do a song with them, and I just fucking for it. And then I got on stage when you guys were performing to do a song I did not know the words to yet.
I don't remember that.
That was a bad night for me.
That sounds like a lot of nights when we played.
I did happen a lot.
At Bethel Road Pub.
Yeah, dude.
We were just fucking around.
Yeah, my drinking problem was pretty bad for a while. But
There were good times though, man.
but like, I think that like a big part of that was just like, dude, I worked just as hard on these songs. I worked just as hard on this band. I want to perform too. I'm not good at it, but I'd like to. So
No, that's fair. I want to say though,
I'm not talking shit, by the way, or looking for
I know.
sympathy or any sorries. I'm probably autistic. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. You're good. You're giving a perspective, and that's fair. I was just saying that, like, I want to say something too, like I'm saying that it's the hardest thing I've ever done, but at the same time, like we were talking about, like, Hype Nation, like, we went through so much shit. Each one of those songs, like, every one of them that's come out, like, we talked about it, like, I guarantee it, at the old practice space, like, at least, 6 hours of just straight conversation on the songs and, like, theoretical points, like, all of them.
So
everyone
hard
on that album.
every song.
Yeah, and it's like, so, like, Hype Nation, it's like, when we see successes on songs or things that we do, like, even like that recent cover that we did of Not Like Us, like, we argued about stuff.
That was such a good cover, by the way.
Yeah. Or
that
when
and
we did
Sicko Mode. Sicko Mode was fire too.
Thank you. But or when we did the Joey Sturgis thing, you remember we argued
I thought
so
you guys
much about, like,
releasing
how
a
we were gonna
song.
write that shit.
I wish.
That would have been sick. But like, all those times that we spent all those times arguing, those have, like, been, like, the most fucking rewarding times. That's just how, like, good shit gets made, and it's like, not everybody's built for that shit, just to thug it out. Like, he was just saying, it's been 10 years, like, I've been doing this shit with Wesley and Alex for, like, around that time, but, like, maybe just a little bit longer, but it's like, fuck, dude, it's like.
Nah, I genuinely, like, I'm still, like, it's still, like, I almost had Pat put a Twix symbol behind my ear when I got my leg tattooed.
He's got a Twix symbol.
Yeah, I want one. And it's like, because I remember when when I first started talking about doing it, it was like when I was, like, it was like 2018, and I said it to you, and you were like, I don't think you should do that as your friend. And I was like, why? And you were like, because something could happen. You know what I mean? There could be drama. Foreshadowing. You know what I mean? Or something stupid could happen, and then you could just feel like you hate all of us and you'll hate that tattoo.
Yeah.
At which point I responded, and I still feel the same way. Even after awkward shit happened. I mean, obviously it wasn't that bad because we're all cool again, but, like, even after all of that, I still wanted the tattoo. And it was just because, like, I didn't think of it this way, but since Pat had said it and he said it the same week, like, I look at that as a period of time in my life, right, that has forever altered the rest of my life and who I am as a person, and created a genuine family environment in my life.
Yeah.
And even if I stop talking to all of you tomorrow, right, that it's been almost a decade now that I've considered all of you like family to me.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a bad tattoo idea. You know what I mean? Because when I look at that, I'm not going to be like, those motherfuckers. You know what I mean? I'm going to look at it and go, oh, remember all the dumb shit we used to do? Remember that dream Pippin had that's no longer a dream? We just tell it like a real story.
Do you mean the one where you held the bag for me?
Yeah, remember when I held that bag for you while you shit out the window?
Hold on, wait, what happened?
Tell him, Pippin.
I mean, hold
on. What?
It's just okay. So Pippin had a dream.
Tell me, what is this
I had
shit?
a dream. We were on the road, and I can't remember the exact context, but I had to shit, and he held a bag for me while I shit in it.
Wow,
dude! It was honest to God.
Why
I
didn't
think
you keep that dream to yourself?
I think it was.
I kept it.
I think it was the same weekend. I cannot remember where we were at, but I like my stomach was really bad.
Oh, the one where you shit behind a tree.
Yeah, and I wiped my ass with Chipotle wrappers.
I didn't know that either. Wow.
Yeah.
I thought it was notebook paper.
No. It was literally Chipotle wrappers because we had gone to Chipotle. I think it was the same weekend we tried the We're in a Band con and got away with it for the first time. It was very fucking eventful weekend for us. But, like, literally, I think that what I'm theorizing here, I think that happened, and then that night you had a dream about me shitting in a bag. Or you may have told me about that dream when we were on our way to practice the night after you had it, and that probably was what it was.
Something
but I
like
can't
that.
really remember. However, when we were coming back from the gathering, we were talking, or when we were going to the gathering, we were talking about it. You're like, at this point, we've told the story so much, it's just kind of really happened to me.
It's canon for me.
Yeah, it's part of our lore. Why don't we have a secret handshake?
Yeah, why don't you guys have a secret handshake?
Do you not like
Why
me?
haven't we made one?
I don't know. We'll figure it out. Not
Wait,
right
we
now,
had a
but-
secret handshake. What was our secret handshake?
We did.
We did. We should stop doing it, but I forget it.
It was very similar to yours and Wes's is similar to mine and yours.
Yeah.
Mine wasn't the one with you where we did this thing.
Yeah, this is the one. Yeah,
Okay.
that's
Nice.
the one. Yeah,
Yeah.
'Cause you and
Do it
Noah-
over the table so the
Did you
cameras
see
can
his
see
and
it.
Noah's? So, okay, let me show you this one. But his and Noah's was the best one. That shit was hilarious.
Is it when they would like scissor each other or the fucking
Yeah.
the fucking hand vagina, bro? This was theirs. They would just
Hell
No, but
yeah.
one time I saw them do it. Yeah, and they would look at each other like,
nice, dude.
that shit had me weak as hell.
I forgot all about that. And
Dude,
there's so much shit that
I
I
have,
forgot
if I go
about.
like years, this is the funny part about Snapchat. Is I didn't start using Snapchat heavy until about the time I started coming around you guys.
Yeah.
So like if I
Oh
go
my
to like
God.
the beginning of my Snapchat memories all the way up to like 2020, it's mostly just dumb shit from being on the road with y'all. And or being at parties with y'all. And at one of Alex's New Year's party, I tried to film all of the handshakes I had with everyone. You didn't show up, obviously. So I didn't get ours, but I have mine and Noah's and mine and Max's and mine and Wes's. Me and Alex had like 3, and then we realized it was funnier to just do different shit every time. So we just stopped having one. Then after a while, we'd be just like,
Whatever.
so that was pretty much
yeah.
it. But I actually have mine and Noah's and mine and Wes's because they were like super fucking. And mine and Wes's was like a fucking. By the time we finished it, it was like an aerobics fucking exercise. But I had mine and Noah's as well.
Yeah, mine and Wesley's weird. Do you remember the time we were at Denny's and she was like,
Which time?
well, so we were at Denny's one time. I don't remember what time it was, but I was right behind Wesley at the checkout and I had just paid. And
Oh, the damn.
yeah, because our handshake is like, like,
Oh, the fucking jump.
and then the salute, and then we would jump, damn, right? So then he asked the lady, she's like, how much is it again? And she's like, $18.25. And then we just did a handshake in front of her, and we were just like, damn. And she's like, okay, thank you. It's like,
I had such secondhand embarrassment. I think I walked out.
that shit was fun, bro.
Were you guys at the gas station on Wes's birthday when his intrusive thoughts won and he was accidentally super racist to the guy who was behind the fucking thing?
And he's like, oh, never mind, honey. I almost did
You
it.
remember the voice that Derek and Matt started that Wes would do all the time, right?
Yeah, I was about to do it.
Yeah.
'cause
Yeah, so we're up there, and Wes is getting his, at the time, just patented fucking Steel Cities.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot
Where
about
he'd
that
break
too.
them out by the penny, dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, here's 244.
You
I'll
would
take
have
that.
one too.
That's how I know the price that they were at the time to this day, just because of the amount of times I watched him count the exact change instead of just handing the dude like a 5. It's like, bro, you got to just pay for the thing. He's like, there's 2.
That's Wesley. Wesley's
44.
about his sense.
I respect it. I wish I was more money centric. I probably wouldn't be broke all the fucking time.
Wesley's about it.
But were you guys there for that? Because the dude tried to ID him, and he does it and goes like, "I'm here all the time."
Yeah, I was there.
And I was
there.
like,
yeah,
and I
yeah.
just looked at him, and he went, and the dude went, "Oh," and it's like you could tell he felt it, and I was like, "You just fucked that dude's whole day up," and he sees you at least twice a week.
Yeah.
Ah,
I
man.
think that was
The
one
old
of those
Subway
times.
dude that used to hook us up, and then he went to jail.
Oh, is that what happened?
Yeah.
Dude, that dude used to give me like 3 sandwiches worth of bacon.
Bro,
Yeah, that dude would hook it up.
legitimately, at one point, he put so much shit on my sub that he's like, "It's too much. You care if I put the rest of it on another piece of bread?" And he gave me a foot long and a half sub that was like double meat all the way through, and it was the price. It was like $6. I was like, "That's my guy,
Yeah, thank you, sir.
I'm always surprised I didn't get food poisoning from that Subway.
dude." Same.
We used to go there all the time.
You
They
were
made
besties with
thousands
the
of
fucking
dollars.
dudes at the Shell stations where you bought those pants.
Yep.
I gave you shit for those pants for
Yeah,
a
we're
year,
like, so
dude.
many FTs deck. If anybody speaks Lebanese, do you guys want to know what that means?
Isn't it the F word in Lebanese?
No, it's way worse.
Pussy?
No.
What is it?
So better FTs deck. My dick in your butthole.
Actually,
Well,
way
'cause
better.
didn't you
I'm
just,
gonna say
like-
that it's basically the F word.
Didn't you just like randomly say that to him one time?
Yeah,
and
he
he
told
was
me
like, "What the fuck?"
no,
I
it's
thought
like,
he
it's like
said
a
it to
joke fuck did they
you.
say it? It's like they say it to each other. So he was not expecting it from me. He's like, I'm Lebanese. I'm like, so bad if he teased that. He was like, what the fuck?
Hit him with a chupa mi huevos,
Chupa mi
bro.
huevos.
Suck my eggs, bitch.
Well, there was this Lebanese dude in Mexico that my dad used to say that too.
Oh,
and they used to
okay.
say that to each other. We would just be walking down the street in front of his shop and he'd be like, so bad if he teased that inside there. And my dad would be like, what the
The first genuine Mexican that I was ever friends with used to just call me maricon all the time, and it took me
Maricon.
like 6 weeks to figure out that he was being very mean to me.
Yeah.
Like he was doing it playfully, but I was just like, what does that mean? And after a while, I was like, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
And then one of the other Hispanic dudes we work with heard him say it. He goes, he just called you. I was like, oh, hey, nuh-uh.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Maricon.
let's talk about what you guys have coming up.
All right.
Because I'm not in the loop of the know of what's in the future for you guys anymore, which is also one of the most, you guys want to know what the most annoying thing about being friends with all of you is, to the degree that I am
Yeah.
with our history, is that everyone assumes that I know everything y'all are doing all the time.
Yeah, I was
and
realizing.
whenever a small promoter sees me, they're like, what's up with your friends? How come they don't play shows for us anymore? They only play their own shows and whatever. I'm like, yeah. They're not a local band anymore.
Hey,
Fucking deal with it.
But nobody hits us up. Nobody hits us up. They can ask.
Q was the last person. And again, I don't go to a lot of local shows, and I damn sure don't fuck with Q anymore. I'm not going to get into why, but me and Q aren't cool.
I didn't know
I can tell you later, but I'm not going to get into it on camera.
Yeah,
It's
that's fair.
nobody else's business. But
Yeah.
like, we're just not cool anymore. And the last time that I saw him when we were cool, he literally stopped me and bitched at me for like 10, 15 minutes because, quote, I've been trying to get them on a show for a year and nobody ever gets me back to me. At which point I was like, listen, dog, if you've been hitting them up that frequently, you talk to them more than I do.
I think that was
So-
when we were first Yung Mosh, probably.
And,
Yeah.
And by the way,
Oh my God,
when
that
I
was
talk
such a
to you
long
guys, we
period.
don't talk about music that much. We talk about personal stuff.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
like,
Like normal friends.
yeah, it's like we're actually friends.
Yeah.
We
But
are.
no. We fucking better be.
be.
Oh, we're not going to throw hands on here.
Well,
I thought you were offering to do karate in the garage, and I was excited, dude.
last time he threatened
Oh,
to
we
throw
haven't-
hands
we haven't
against me,
played-
he put a
or
no
played
kicking
Ninja.
rule. We haven't played Ninja in a minute,
Yes,
dude. We used to have
dude. Yeah,
like
we should
20
do that,
people
yeah.
games out front of fucking Thompson House.
Yeah.
bro.
While
we need to bring
everybody
that
was
back.
fucking intoxicated.
Yeah, we just
Yeah.
be fucked up while another band that we're supposedly friends with is playing, and we're like, hey, fuck all this. You guys want to go out back and play Ninja? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Fucking 25 people from the crowd out back just playing fucking Ninja.
Dude, I miss being able to put on actual local shows at the Thompson House. That place is dope.
It used
That
to be.
place is dope.
The problem is
That's where I
that
came up at.
the
Yep.
promoters that, at least for the time that, you know, I was working with you guys and before, so the time that I was making music or
Yeah.
doing music stuff, music adjacent, like, how do I say this respectfully and professionally without sounding like a dick? It
Let your dick fly, dude. Fuck it.
we're the metalcore specifically scene, because you guys know how clicky and fucking niche the Cincinnati scene
What?
is.
No.
Every fucking, yeah, you have to be in a
news to
very
us.
specific sound wave of a very specific subgenre of whatever the fuck you're playing in order to get on a show or nobody watch. It's fucking annoying. I mean, we've talked about it at length, but like, the problem is that like, so for like the sect of metalcore that like I've spent most of the, you know, time in, has mostly been run by the same 3-4 promoters.
Yeah.
One of them is a scumbag that gets run out of the city every 6 weeks. He comes up with a new name and a new venue, and then people cancel him for 2 years. Then he has to go somewhere else after he fucks over everyone, which is hilarious because people know he's an asshole and people still fucking work with him.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, the other ones, I think, and I don't know that this is 100% a fault to theirs, but when you're only two promoters that are putting on shows that people come to, right? I think that you kind of can't help but develop this level of self-importance, and then just by proxy of your role, you automatically become a gatekeeper.
Yeah.
And you know how they talk about like power, right? And like, it sounds corny to talk about a local promoter having power, but when you look at like, if there's only two people you can go to get on a show, and those people are assholes with the way they choose how they do shows,
Yeah.
or they're assholes to you or whatever it is, or you don't like them personally or whatever the problems are, then you kind of do have a level of power over these people. And I think that goes to people's heads. And I think after a while, people starting to feel a little bit too self-important, and they start to feel like when people don't abide by what they're saying, that they're being challenged in some way, and I think it triggers something in the back of their brain. But either way, my point is I think that the two primary metalcore promoters for the city for a decade started out with honest intentions and then just kind of turned into bitter old assholes.
Well, yeah, well, dude, I gotta say, the local shows thing is fucking hard, bro. It's a hard ass sell.
Oh, for sure. I know promoting is super hard.
I know. But I'm just saying, it's like this shit. It's like it's hard because like it's hard for the local artist, but a lot of the times, you know, it's like when you're working with people that are newer, man. It's like they're scared to sell tickets, or you know, they can only sell like 5 tickets, and it's like, I got bills to pay. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got to pay the venue.
Yeah.
I got to pay for all this shit.
No, and I
local
understand
music
all that.
is hard, man. This whole thing, like the business of local music, there needs to be something that happens that facilitates things, so that way it can make it easier for artists to play out and for people who put that shit together to make some fucking money, man.
Also, COVID kind of nearly decimated the local scene.
Yeah.
In Cincinnati, at least.
Well, I think too, though, like it's reflective of, especially the metal scene. I can't speak for other genres because that's the only like local scene I've ever been involved with. But like, metal's not cool anymore. Like it's not like
it was most of the time. It's also not good anymore.
Yeah, well,
It's gotten really redundant.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but like that, it was the
No innovation.
counterculture. You know, this is where on Mills. Suck.
Everything's
When
counterculture
When we
now.
were when we were the counterculture, when we were 15, metal. You know, beneath
What's
the sky.
that screaming shit?
Yeah, beneath
Yeah.
the sky, Devil Wears Prada. Like all that
Wrong
shit.
address. Fun fact.
Yeah. Yeah, that's.
Do you guys know that?
I did not. but-
Yeah, the song 7861, which is based on a true story, that was supposed to be the address in which the hanging happened, right? Mm-hmm. It's the wrong address.
Well, they probably changed it.
No, it was a mistake.
Oh, okay. I mean, I did date one of the ex-members.
I was gonna say,
Now that
I
I'm
was gonna
thinking
say-
about it, I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure she's the one who told me. So now
Yeah.
I don't know how real that information is.
Yeah, that's fair.
But
anyway, yeah, back in the day, it was the counterculture. Now, like, I mean, there are cool young metal bands doing cool shit. You know, there's
Shout out to
Knocked Loose.
Dayseeker.
Yeah, there's Dayseeker. There's what is it? Wind Waker is a band I've been really fucking with recently.
That's really close to.
It's the Legend of Zelda thing.
Yeah.
It's Wind Waker.
Oh, I know, but it's super close to Gravewalker.
yeah, well, these guys are a little.
No, I meant by
they're a-
namesake, and
Yeah,
more
yeah.
so I'm just clinging on to the inside joke of every time you wore that fucking. Who's Daywalker, dude?
Oh, that
Or
hat.
Gravewalker.
Gravewalker.
Yeah.
I had forgotten
Who the
about
fuck's
that. I
Gravewalker,
still have
dude?
that hat somewhere.
I dare you to wear that bitch in front of me.
I will. And then I'll act like you're asking me genuinely who they are.
Yeah. Now, for people who didn't get that, Davis had this random band's hat, and I used to do little bits on everybody all the fucking time when we were on the road. Like the high five thing I did with Jared that one time. Does anyone remember that?
No.
Where just anytime anyone said or did anything, I just be like, fuck yeah, dude, and high five Jared. And I did it. I high fived him for like 3 straight hours before he realized it was a bit. But there was one where Pippin had this hat from this band I'd never heard of.
Grey Walker, I remember that.
Yeah.
He wore. I have
And
pictures
the first
with him
and
with
the
that
first
hat on.
handful of times, I genuinely was just, you know, stoner drunk asshole brain, just forgetting who they were.
Yeah.
But then after about the second or third time, I started realizing that I just kept asking it. I was like, so I just kept asking it, and then it ended up being a whole thing after about a year.
See, I had forgotten about that. I'm glad you reminded me because I'm going to dig that hat out because it's about to be chili season.
Hell yeah, dude.
Next time you see me.
Beanie Boys.
Hey, but I gotta say, man, it's like he was saying with like the metal thing being such like a niche like genre and stuff, man. It's like it really is up to like the artist, man, to like sell the tickets and
I agree.
pack that place out. Like I feel like people like a lot of artists hate selling tickets, and it's like the people who sell tickets hate selling tickets too. It sucks balls, you know what I'm saying? But it's like it's the only way to guarantee people to come to a show. You know what
It's
I mean?
also like it's the most convenient way to buy your way into a show.
yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't want to wait. What's
And
your
directly
alternative?
support the
Have a
artist.
fucking line out the front door for every single person who wants to come to this show?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You have anywhere from 20 to 300 people standing in line at 7 p.m. to get into the fucking Madison Live.
Yeah.
Well, and that's if these bands think they can sell that many tickets. Like, okay, if you could sell that many tickets, I wouldn't have to have bands sell tickets. I could just put your name on a fucking poster and 500 people would show up.
Yes, exactly.
But since you're not at that level, you have to sell tickets. And you know what? Honestly,
That's how it should be.
we have we sell tickets.
And we're
like,
not even at that level.
And,
Yeah.
when we sell tickets, we get more people that actually show up because they put money in on the show than us just going, hey, I play on Friday, come out.
Oh,
Yeah.
sure, I'll be there.
It's like a financial commitment because even I don't know if you've ever done this. I've bought tickets to like 'cause us as a band, we're like everybody's got to sell this amount of tickets. You know what I'm saying? So for me to like have like a a bigger number, I guess I'll just buy some tickets and give them out. You know what I mean? I want to feel good about what I did, and those people don't come. You give it to them for free. You know, even studio time, knowing how much I fucking charge an hour, I'll give people free studio time and they'll just no call, no show.
That's crazy.
I know it's like when they don't pay their own money, like they're not committed to it.
But that is a good point, though.
No matter how much money
and it's
you're
also
offering
like
them for
like
free.
especially like with a time commitment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you buy a ticket a week or two before a show, you know what I mean. When that show comes up, you know what I mean. You don't know how you're going to be feeling in that time, but it is a motivator to go to the show. You know
Yeah,
what
at
I
least
mean?
check it out.
Like if you spend anywhere from $20 to $50 on a ticket to a show, and then the day of the show you're feeling anxious or tired and you don't want to go, you're gonna have that ticket looking at you like, well, I already spent the money and all this other stuff. That's honestly the reason why I stopped buying tickets to shows that weren't my friend's shows and just started paying at the door. Because I don't want to feel like I have to go if I don't feel like going.
Yeah. It's hard, man. But like selling tickets too, like also shows like the promoter which artists have like that support. You know what I mean? Because then at the end of the day, people actually show up and all that stuff, and you see people, watching them perform and stuff. It's just like, I don't know.
Foreman and I
honestly,
actually met because he tried to sell me tickets.
There you go, man.
I already
Nice.
bought one.
That's how the community grows, man. It's like
No, that's genuinely
people hate
how
on
he and I
tickets.
met. My friend Cody and I wanted to go to his show because we used to go to Warped Tour for a few years. We went to Warped Tour every year together.
Yeah.
And he was out of town with his family for one of them. So I went without him. And then when he got back, he's like, let's go to a show. So he was like, do you want to go to this random EDM show or do you want to go to this random metal show? I was like, I will take a random metal show over a random EDM show 50 times out of 50. I'll do it to this day.
Yeah.
And
Hell yeah.
so we went there. We got there early. We bought the tickets and then we went and got something to eat and we came back. He was outside trying to give away tickets because they had bought some for, it was actually his band at the time CD release. And we called him drummer for 3 weeks.
Wow. Hey,
He would
what's up,
come to
drummer?
all of our parties and shit. Because you know how it is when you're 18, 19. All the people you would party with in high school, you're partying with all the time for like the first 2 years you're an adult.
Yeah.
And so like we would party like 3-4 days a week over at Cody's and he would come out and party with us and shit. And he was just drummer.
You're like, we should learn
We
his
would
name.
just scream, drummer!
Nah,
So why don't you
Foreman.
guys call him that instead of Foreman?
That's a good question. I should have called you drummer instead of foreman. It would have been real special.
We start now.
You're my little drummer boy.
He did everything
my
but call you
giant-
by your name. This
you're
guy deserves a pimp slap. I'm not gonna lie.
But who gonna do it though?
He
Not
would
me.
like it too much.
I'm 5'7".
If I fight by Pippin's rules, he'll win because he says no kicks every time he threatens me.
Well, that's because I can only fight with my hands.
That's fair.
I boxed for
You probably
like
have-
a year. Like I
probably
have
have-
no leg skills.
You probably have better punching form than I do.
I bet you,
I'm a little
he can
rusty
sock
at this point.
a person.
The problem is that like, because I trained a little bit when I was younger, right? I trained with my dad, and then I trained Taekwondo for a little while, and then I trained a lot of shit for like 4 years, and that was when I was doing Muay Thai, MMA, Jiu-Jitsu, and Judo. And the problem with that is like, my dad told me not to do that and I didn't listen to him. I was like, fuck you, I can learn all this stuff. And then like, because of the fact that I was trying to learn 4 completely new arts at the same time, it was like really slow on all of them. Like my jujitsu, like my bottom game in jujitsu is trash.
What about sex?
Huh?
What?
You said what about sex?
What about
Come
your
find
bottom
out, Daddy.
game
I
in
like a good
sex?
reach around.
Yeah, I was gonna say your bottom game's pretty good.
How you
Is it?
doing? How you doing?
How about that top game?
But like, nonetheless, like
Can you hand me the backpack over there, please?
is there condoms in there? Let's find out.
Yeah.
But no,
Bring
like,
out the champagne
like,
glasses and
so,
motherfucking
like,
condoms.
So like my fundamental forms on a lot of like punching techniques are
Thank you, bro.
a little lacking because they also offered boxing as like an independent class. The place I trained at, Legacy. So like I wouldn't go to boxing because I would go to Muay Thai because they were teaching us how to strike across the board. And I like Muay Thai more than boxing. It's more fun. So like I would study all these things at the same time and then sorry, it's just my favorite sound. And then it's just the secret beer opening.
Wait, I need, hold on. Finish your story because I have to talk about beer opening sounds.
That's completely fine. So basically what I'm saying is your fundamentals of punching and footwork are probably better than mine. I just have a more diverse training than you do.
Yeah, I mean, all disciplines are strict, but like boxing is probably the most strict in what you're not allowed to do.
True. Well,
you know.
which I mean, it's a punching contest. It should be.
Yeah. I
You
mean,
know what I mean? You should
basically
I don't
like-
like that they're allowed to clinch in boxing. I don't think they should be. You know what I mean? I think that it stalls fights. It makes them like less exciting.
the thing where they hug it out or
Well,
whatever.
we're like because dirty boxing is allowed in boxing now, right? Which is a clinch, which is where two people are close and they lock in and they just start like basically like they're locked into each other and they're just throwing punches at each other.
Yeah. That to me is lazy boxing.
It is, and it's also like boxing isn't intended for that. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of counterintuitive to the martial art itself, right? That's a Muay Thai thing. So why do you allow it in a sport that it doesn't benefit and slows this? It's a detriment to the sport.
I think
itself,
the only person that would benefit is if you're an inside man. If your reach is short,
True,
and you got to, that's the only way you can get
absolutely. But at the same time, like if your reach is short and you have to, and you're learning how to be sufficient at fighting on the inside, why wouldn't you just study Muay Thai? You're more effective. You're more effective at range with your legs than you are with your hands. And if you have shorter arms and you're fighting on the inside, the Muay Thai clinch fighting style is super effective for people who have to fight tight.
I guess are you fighting for practicality or are you fighting to like compete?
That's a good question. See, I was fighting for or not fighting, but training for practicality.
Yeah,
and it also depends on where you train, because a lot of places have like watered down like fitness centric types, and they'll classify them as boxing or kickboxing classes, and then you have like places that only do like competitive training. I honest to God, like if I was a millionaire, I would go spend 3 months in Thailand just to learn like traditional Muay Thai, because they teach it as like a legitimate raw martial art there, and that's where most people here just train it like
fitness class,
fitness or competitive fighting classes. Yeah,
Shitting on that, but it's a good way to stay in
I
shape.
promise you, any one of my fucking jujitsu instructors will beat the fuck out of anyone you know. But not jujitsu, but Muay Thai. But nonetheless, like I still want to learn the more. Like I want to go punch ropes, bro. That's what they do. They literally will punch ropes, and I want to do that.
I'll spin them.
But you were going to talk about
Throwing ropes, bro.
slanging them, bro. It's like Spider-Man. You wanted to say something about the beer sound.
Yes. Do you remember that time?
Probably.
And I just remembered this the other day because Wesley brought it up. But this is back when Pippin was drinking.
I missed
but the
those
time
days.
where we
I'm
were
glad
taking
you're
the
healthy.
videos.
I really am.
Yeah,
I
I'm
miss
glad he's
those
healthy
days.
too.
Speaking of which,
Yeah.
I'm sorry for interrupting you.
Yeah, you're
Remember
good,
how I
good.
said I listened to that album the other day? I want to tell you this because I feel guilty having thoughts about friends and not telling them.
Sure.
I was listening to Low Life. Right?
Such a good
that
song.
I
yeah.
love that song. And I wish the rest of the second verse was in it, but it's fine. Especially because it was the person who decided to cut the rest of the verse. It was their idea to go fast, but it's fine. Anyway, being petty. Shut up, Moshley. Anyway, so like I was listening to it and I was listening to the first verse because I remember that the first verse and the chorus was what was done, right? And we needed the second verse, and that was where I kind of helped Wes write it, right?
Right.
And I was listening to the first verse and I was like, and the hook, and I went, you know what's crazy? Pippin put out a very clear, very direct cry for help when he was like in a bad place. And I immediately was like, how did none of us see it?
We wrote about some real shit back then.
I saw a comment on one of your guys' videos once. I think it was on Hype Nation. And I think they were referring to mostly the first album stuff. And they were like, you guys used to stand for something. You guys used to be about the people and all this other shit. And you guys used to be like everyone else. Now you're selling out to be cool rappers or whatever it was. And I was just like, dude, that's because we were all mad and poor and upset. And we started
the struggle.
And then we started to figure out how to sell music and went, oh, people don't want to hear us complain.
No, but it's kind of funny because we went to like
Now the emo's back, so everyone wants to hear you complain. But anyway.
Yeah, no, we went that direction where we were just trying to write more commercial music, and now I think we've gotten back to like wanting to talk about serious shit in these past few years. Since
you know what's crazy about that?
Yeah,
him and I talk about this all the time. Before I used to write for you guys, you know what I mean? I've written songs for almost 10 years up to that. Well, more than 10 years up to that point. Just whatever. I've been in other projects. I tried moving songs as a ghostwriter for years. All those things. I never wrote with the concept of like commercializing my music or the lyrics I would write, I guess I should say, because I don't write music, I write lyrics. And like, I never really focused on that until I started working for you guys. With you guys, I should say. With whatever. Depends on what time frame was.
same shit.
But nonetheless, like, and now I'm trying to steer away from just trying to like, because I take like, because you guys remember how I write. Like I take a whole bunch of shit, I write it down, and then I make a part of it sound good, and then I try to make everything fill in from there. Like, I'm trying to break away now from constantly trying to do the most commercial thing I can think to do when I write. Now, like, again, I don't write that much anymore. I mostly just write like schemes and bars like that in passing. But when I do sit and write, I actively have to try and consider, like, I have to go against the first few things I think of, because the first few things I think of are just the most streamlined commercial version of what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, but like it's like that's a very shallow way to approach music. I think it's a young man's way to approach music.
No, I get it. I mean, like, there's a very clear, I mean, if you look and you can see it, it's very obvious that there's a clear thing that people want in music.
Yes, very, very much so.
But you do that for too long and you forget how to have fun, and you basically forget how to be an artist.
Tell you what, if I can be real honest with you for a second, I think that's where my music burnout came from. Is that I think I got so locked into doing things specifically and how they worked for one group of people.
Yeah.
Right? And how their audience received it, and how their target audience would receive it in the future, and things of those nature. And then I got into my mind where it's like, all right, now I've gotten a system in my head, because everything's systematic to me, where I know how to write things and then change them so they're more commercialized. So they're more like, I'm not a fucking top 10 producer, but I know what people are looking for, and to the best of my ability, I can steer my shit in that direction. So now when I write, I have to avoid doing that and kind of just write the full, probably autistic version of what I'm thinking out loud down. And
Which
then,
is probably the better version.
and then make it fit. So like, I look at the things that I've written, the few full pieces that I've written in the last couple, like 2 years, and those things are, obviously, I don't like I look at it like, if I were to release the shit I used to write, it has a way better chance of, you know, getting traction. But if I were to try and actually make and release the shit that I've been writing, or in the way that I have been writing lately, then though it would have less traction, but it would be much more intricate, like, conceptually.
And honestly, that's
Also, I don't need to reference Jesus in every song now. So that's cool. Growing up's fine.
there's different metaphors you can use.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
other things you can talk about. Ollie had wolves. I had God. It is what it is.
And there you go. No, but I mean, yeah, I think we're going through the same thing too. I mean, like, Yung Mosh is a brand, and like, we've found it's very hard once you have a brand to like stick to the voice of that brand. And so we struggle with that every day.
I bet that is
Yeah.
difficult, because
You know?
it's like having a brand is important for like the career side of making music, but it also is kind of lightweight a way of putting yourself in a box.
It's like a very restrictive box, and it's like we go in these ebbs and flows of like, saying, okay, well, we can just write whatever we want. Whatever we write is Yung Mosh.
Yeah.
But then we have to come back and think like, well, we can't just put out a house song.
Yeah.
You know, with,
Yeah, you guys can't put a fucking dance pop song out.
right? Like, that's
Just a hyper pop song. Dude.
like, it has to happen within a range. And so like, we've actually both been exploring like just writing whatever we want on our own time,
Yeah.
you know, and if it works for the band, it works for the band. Otherwise, throw it up on BeatStars, sell it, do whatever.
It's another
You know?
thing, yeah.
What's
Put
a
it out.
Beatstar? Is it similar to what you were? Is it the same
Yes,
one you're
selling
talking about?
beats.
Not the same one, no.
Oh,
Yeah,
can I mention that?
Yeah.
Foreman and I have been in talks of because he's already in the process of doing so, but getting together and making songs to sell on a similar website.
I think we should make more. Everybody should collaborate more often.
I think.
Let's just
Okay.
do some shit.
Do you
That's
remember,
how you grow. I
do
think
you-
in the music world.
Do you remember when you tried to get that group of people together to write a pop song?
Yeah.
Can I tell you why I think it failed? Too many people.
You think so?
When you invite 7 people into a group chat, like, hey, let's get together and just write a banger of a pop song, try to sell it and split it, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's going to be down for that because of group mentality. Everybody's like, yeah, let's do it. But then the logistics become a problem.
That's a good point.
And
but
then motivation
that is also like
becomes
a
a problem.
test too. You
But
know,
then
it's like,
but then
you can see
motivation-
how bad people want it, especially like if you're about to put a bunch of like work up front. You know, it's like you gotta know. It's like do these people want it or not? Because I've had people like I'll give them, like I was telling you, the free session time or the free beats and shit. I'll give motherfuckers free shit all the time in the spirit of like let's grow the community and shit. Some people bite and we can like keep
Let's do
doing
this.
shit.
You and
Yeah.
me. Let's do this. Let's lock in for a second. Me and
Yes.
you. Hey.
Hey,
Let's
you have
you
beautiful
and I.
eyes, by the
Thank
way.
you. You have beautiful everything. You're
Oh,
a beautiful
thank you,
person.
thank you. I mean, I am Mexican, so thank you.
It's a beautiful people. I've seen your work. How about You know how we were talking about scheduling a time soon where you and I can sit down and just discuss an idea?
Yeah.
Why don't we just clear whatever type of time of day on a weekend that you have, right? And I have, obviously, and just spend a few hours together, and then we can brainstorm an
Why don't we just
idea,
cook something up?
and then we can just try to cook up something poppy.
Well-
And the reason why I say that is because when that group started, I was hyped about it.
I was hyped about it too.
Honestly, it was mostly just because I was excited to write with Jeezy.
There was,
again.
but there was hella great people in that group.
There was. I mean, it was me, you, Cody, Baxter, at the time of Avanti,
Christian and Josh.
and that would have been a banger of a group of people. But the problem is that, like you were saying, you test people's motivation.
Yeah.
And when you have 5, 6, 7 people trying to collaborate on something, right,
Yeah.
that don't have the same vision, right, and don't have the same motivations, people don't show up and things just fall through. Versus if you go ahead and just work with a group of people that you know and trust, right, to show up, then it may not have as much of a collaboration. It may not be as good as it could have been because there's not as many minds on it, but at least you know that it's going to get done. It doesn't happen like what happened then, which was like, let's schedule it here. Let's schedule it here. Let's schedule it here. Let's just not do it at all.
That's
Which
true.
pissed me off because I made because you told everybody to get to a couple of songs together that they think is like the new pop wave or whatever.
Yeah.
I had like a YouTube playlist because you use YouTube specifically with
Thank
like
you so
20
much.
underground pop songs that I thought, I was like,
Yeah.
I'm predicting the next pop wave.
Yeah.
And it just never happened. And I was like, all right. So if you want to get
Hey,
together and
yeah,
just cook
let's
stuff
do
up,
it. Yeah.
all right.
Hey, and even with Pips, if you want to get,
I need to get into writing again anyway,
Join
so.
us on that shit or not,
$100 an hour.
Yeah, all right, $100. So you can put 100, I'll put 100. We get Pippin to come
We
out
get
for 2
Pippin
hours,
involved? That's
and then we'll
good.
finish the song after he leaves.
We'll just promise him there's a D&D session happening after. He'll show up early to help set up chairs.
Yeah, there we go.
Probably. No,
You should join our campaign, by the way.
I'm happy.
Yeah,
Happy
we're
to
playing
join.
D&D together.
Oh, you guys are playing D&D together?
You should join our
Yeah.
campaign
When?
the next time we do it.
Yeah, so Justin's
The first time
dungeon
we did
master.
it, everybody was there. The second time we did it, it was just me, Justin Taylor, and
His brother joined, right, Michael?
Michael, and you're gonna love what I did to him. So you know how like my character's whole thing is just being a dick to everyone?
Hold on, wait, can you tell everybody your character's name? This shit is
Bruh,
fucking...
the blacksmith. Yeah, he is not a blacksmith.
That's so good. Yeah.
So
Not even a little bit.
I have one. This might expand into multiple conditions, but
None of us knows anything about D&D, but you go right ahead.
if there's one of those people that plays who just goes, "Can I fuck that?" Every fucking time we meet a character, I'm not playing.
No one has, in the 2 sessions we've had, again, the first one, it was all of us. So it was Justin. Well, Justin's the DM, and then it's Taylor, Ava, Max, myself, Alyssa, and Alex. And then the last one we did was just Justin, Taylor, myself, Alyssa, and Justin's brother.
Alex and I weren't there, and Ava.
And Ava. By the way, I have been keeping track of all of the bodies, and Chet still has 0.
Damn.
Every time I talk to Alex, I give him shit about it.
I got one body, don't I?
Yes, everyone has 1. I have 3, and I think
That first battle,
Ava
everybody
has
was
2.
OP. Everybody but us was OP.
Dude.
The bad guys were OP, bro. They were so fucking OP.
Bro,
Like, they were just whooping.
literally,
And
literally,
we were all looking at Justin like, we're just
Justin
getting smoked
almost
out here.
destroyed the entire campaign in the training arc.
Because like, yeah, as a DM, you got to choose the right monsters
No.
for the level your people are at.
Well, he
Yeah,
had to
that's
nerf
fair.
them 3/4 of the way through the fight because we were all about to die.
Yeah.
Like, we were all fucked.
Yeah.
And did I tell you that I changed the stats on mine? The stat array?
Yeah.
I had to, because I don't know anything about D&D. So I went back and forth because I don't understand subclasses, and the way my brain works is I'm not going to be able to intake enough. I cannot intake the amount of information at one time I would need to understand all that shit.
Bro,
Yeah.
there's like
So
the,
I
the
just-
rule book's like 200 pages.
Yeah, no, fuck that.
Justin has ChatGPT up.
That's how I built bruh.
Really?
Yeah, and I didn't crowdsource on the internet at all the information. I just first of all, I'm a story guy.
Yeah.
So I built his story before I built anything. And then I was like, okay, I took that story and I put it into ChatGPT and I went, what kind of character would be best for this? And they gave me ideas, and I already had the name picked out. Originally, bruh, the blacksmith was going to be a dwarf or an orc that wasn't a blacksmith, and that was just going to be the whole thing.
Yeah.
And then as I was working out the story, it came up to this whole thing, and it's like, yeah, you want to be a rogue, and you want to do this, and you want to do that. I'm like, oh, cool. I just set it up exactly how ChatGPT told me to. And if you guys remember, I forgot my Chromebook, and I thought we were all getting together to build our characters together before we started, and I didn't realize everybody had already had their characters ready to go.
Oh, I don't remember.
So
that.
when
I
everyone
had
was
mine
getting
ready
there, I was
go.
literally on my phone like fuck. So afterwards, I was like, why do all of my stats shit? Why is everything shit? And why does I was looking at like the stats boosts and everything. I was like, and nothing is lining up for the way that I wanted this character to run.
Yeah.
So I got on Reddit and started looking at how people run their rogue assassins and stuff like that. And I saw that the only issue I had was my stat array.
Yeah.
Because it didn't give me it gave me like a range of things to put certain places, but it didn't give me like how it worked when ChatGPT. So I found a Reddit thread of people that were talking about stat arrays for a particular type of rogue, and I was like, I'm just gonna try that, and I switched it without talking to anyone, and then I felt bad because I thought I was cheating, so I asked Justin if it was okay. I was like, I'm still level 1. It's like anything really changes, it just runs the way it's supposed to now.
Well, as long as nobody tries to fuck everything, and the stories don't get nerfed because there's some guy who plays a dumb barbarian who goes, I'm going to kill that guy every time you meet somebody, I'm good.
Yeah, that does sound annoying.
That does sound annoying. No, it was pretty chill.
There's
No,
always
we're
people,
annoying in a different way in that everybody in the campaign acts like they don't want to be a part of the campaign and is mean to each other.
Oh, okay.
Speaking of which, I was telling you the thing I did to Michael.
But
So his character's name is Diego, right?
Diego, no.
And he was a former pirate or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And he tried this thing where he he went to a shop because he was kind of like, because he's more experienced in D&D than anyone else.
Oh really?
I'm sorry, I have to pee so bad.
So do I. We got like 10 minutes, man.
We're 10 minutes past.
Oh, okay. Well, then we'll wrap this up and then we'll wrap this episode up.
Okay, I'm gonna pee because I'm gonna piss myself if I don't.
All right. Well,
He's
I would
about
prefer
to
you piss
piss
Dude, you should
himself.
piss yourself on OnlyFans. We'll probably make more money.
Yes, so much money.
But
Cha-ching.
so he kind of like, because you know how it was the first time, we were all like real awkward and like shy towards it because we're all nervous people.
Yeah.
And like everybody was like real apprehensive towards getting into it until like halfway to the middle or /in. And then like, so he was like into it in the beginning and he's trying to like move the can because nobody knows what to do. So he's like, oh, I'm gonna go see if there's a shop. And we were all like, yeah, us too. and we got there and then the shop had just enough potions for all of us. And Diego bought them all.
No.
And I was like, fuck you. And we had an argument about it. And then at the end, he gave us all one and then tried to make himself our leader.
Yeah.
But he doesn't know that we technically already have a leader at this point. So bruh quickly informed him, we don't like our current leader. Why the fuck would we follow you? And it was hilarious to me.
I'm the leader, by the way.
Yeah, his character, Justin.
I forgot that I was the leader
He
until
was
you
like
just
the
said that. I was
only.
like, fuck the
He was
leader,
like
wait.
the only royal at the fucking table. So Justin just went, you're in charge.
Yep.
And now Max is the leader.
I'm a royal.
I've started a rumor.
A noble,
that,
a noble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I started a rumor that Alex's character punched a dog, and
And Taylor's pissed about that.
oh,
Or no, Zoe.
it's fucking hilarious because
Is it Zoe? What's her name?
who's
Taylor's name.
Taylor's name? Her character's name is Rosalia. No, that's Ava's. It's Irene.
Irene. I don't know. I thought Zoe. Literally in my head.
Zoe
it was
Deschanel for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
New girl. I'm wearing
Yeah.
Schmidt anyway. But so like it's really just like it's exactly how you would expect. None of us know what we're doing. We're all awkward and everyone's a dick to everyone. We were starting the fight and Alex got injured during the obstacle course before the fight. So he had like less health and Alyssa had a potion or two just in stock. And she was like, hey, I know you're not at full health. Would you like a potion? He goes, oh yes. Can I have one, please? And then she just goes, no. And then the fight starts. It's fucking hilarious.
Sounds like a good time. Honestly,
You gotta join us,
You guys
man.
are the right people to
You should
play
join us.
with.
I know that you won't at all put the time into it, but you should totally join us too.
There's
Yeah.
no time to put into it.
I know. You're a busy man. I get it.
Hey,
I feel that.
I was looking for Taylor and she was hiding from us because she had to join the party at the very beginning.
Yeah.
And I was like, and she's like, I'm gonna climb on the roof. And I was like, okay, grab her dog. Like, let's torture this motherfucker until she comes out.
And then Alex,
Out right away.
and then Alex rolled to not have to hurt the dog, but Taylor had to pop up because she didn't roll high enough. So like she was concerned about the threat. So the funny thing about me so he never actually hurt the dog. But as far as like the game goes, I have convinced Michael legitimately that he punched a dog. Alyssa co-signed it because she co-signs all of my fuckery. She's a ride or die bitch and I love her for it. And now Taylor, I believe, has misremembered what actually happened and thinks that Alex also punched the dog. So now 4 of us are just going to tell people, like, we're just going to say he punched the dog until that becomes what happened.
Is this like that thing that we were talking about at Max's party where you're just going to lie to people now, just like for fun?
Yeah, improv. Improv. That's a real thing that happened. But we will talk about that on the bonus content, where I will also ask you about your guys' perspective on the gathering. So
okay, I have something also for the bonus content too. I just wanted to let
Hell
you
yeah.
know.
You wanna
that
give
if you guys want to get on the fucking bonus content, I brought something that is gonna be hopefully something that I can post on the Yung Mosh page too on our YouTube when we launch that stuff. Because I've been doing this thing. Pippin's gonna remember it. Maybe he'll figure it out before we actually do it. But I've been doing this stuff for like behind the scenes for the Yung Mosh page. And Zoltan from Five Finger Death Punch told us that we had to like get this started. So we're starting to work on that, and I have something for that too.
all right, bet. So tune into OnlyFans. You'll hear about the gathering. You'll hear about Pippin's wiener, and we're gonna watch us try to break his sobriety.
Wait, can I hear about the wiener, please?
No,
On OnlyFans.
on OnlyFans
OnlyFans.
for some money a month.
OnlyFans.com/MS plus. OnlyFans.com/MSPLUS.
OnlyFans.com/
MSPLUS.
where you can get bonus content every week, and we're gonna try and break Pippin's sobriety. So let's see what we can do. So before we get out of here,
His dick has a name.
your dick
And if
has
you
a
want to learn
name?
that name, come to MS Plus.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta tune into the
MS
bonus
Plus,
content.
some dollars a month. Anyway,
so many things.
where can they find you guys?
Instagram.
Instagram is number 1. Then after that is Spotify,
TikTok.
TikTok.
What are the apps?
Actually, Instagram and Spotify are like the same for us. But Instagram at YUNGMOSH, Yung Mosh without the O. And that's the same thing with TikTok and Spotify.
You guys are finally at a level where I actually have to ask this question. Congratulations, you're the only guest I know at that level. Do you have any endorsements that you need to plug?
Actually, I don't
wish.
have any. We used to have a couple endorsements, but we do have our own like preset folder on one of the Joey Sturgis plugins.
Nice.
We did like an ad for them to like promote it. The plugin is called Heat, and it's like a saturation plugin. And I made a bunch of presets with some collaboration with the guys. For it, they come with every copy of the plugin.
That's sick, dude.
Yeah, one of them is called Illis. Another one's called New Natty. Another one's called Blacklight Pro. Another one's called BBC.
Of course it is.
Hell
Of course it is.
But no, what did we call it? Be Bold something? Be
Some-
Bold Champ.
Be bold, cuck.
Yeah.
Remember we used to call everybody cucks?
Yeah.
I've been trying to bring that back lately. I keep forgetting.
I still call people cucks.
I let it slip every once in a while,
Cocksuckers.
but I use it more like contextually accurate. Like when you see just an absolute just cuck. You know what I mean?
like me.
I don't think you're a cuck.
Oh,
think
and
you're-
I wish I was sponsored by Liquid Death. Liquid Death, sponsor me, please.
Sponsor him.
I would like to be. We'll talk about this on the OnlyFans. Anyway, thank you guys so much for coming in.
Thanks for having us.
For the
man.
non-subscribers, which is everyone who isn't Rizzo, thank you for watching.
Everyone that is.
Yeah, I've been doing this thing lately where I'm going to continue doing where I just talk to Rizzo directly on OnlyFans because he's the only one who subscribes to us. I'm pretty sure he's not going to subscribe for long.
Oh, and actually, the
Shout out
most
Rizzo.
exciting content. He asked us what we're going to do next with the band.
Yeah,
and
I
we
did ask
never
that.
answered that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So tune into the OnlyFans if you want to hear the actual interview of a musical artist. Anyway, thank you guys so much for coming in. You've been great.
Thanks for having us,
buddy.
Ingrid.
We've been great.
You've been
Anyone
great.
watching this has been mid. Foreman, do you have anything to add?
No, sir.
Well then.
What about a cheers? Can we do a cheers?
Cheers,
Yeah.
boys.
Cheers
And
with
also-
an empty cup.
Cheers.
By the way, I wanted to tell you about the Chicago thing. You remember that?
Oh my God.
That's what
OnlyFans
just
is about to
happened.
be fired, dude.
Yes.
Anyway, you guys have been great. We've been great. Everything's great. Foreman, if you don't mind.
As always.
As always.